Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best NBA-related show on planet Earth, the John Campea Show, brought to you in part by the folks at Mint Mobile, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world: movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good stuff. Woo! The Bills put a butt whooping on the Rams last night. Sitting over here, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing today, sir?
It was deeply sad.
I told you.
But you know what? You know what? If football's going to be like this, it's going to be an exciting year.
It's going to be an awesome year. Sitting right beside him, of course. She is, of course, the countess of all things football. Mm-hmm. Amy Newman's here. Amy, how you doing?
Oh, yes. Did you see that ludicrous display last night? Crazy. Did I do it? Did I trick him?
Well done.
Wow.
Sitting over there, joining you guys in the live chat today once he gets logged on.
Barely making it.
Barely just slipped. Well, no.
You know what?
Technically, you didn't make it. We pushed the start time of the show because of
barely making it to my scheduled time. But anyway.
Your scheduled time.
Instead of saying rings of power now, I'm going to say rings of power. How was that episode last night, huh?
Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit.
This show picked up.
This
turned up.
As far as pacing goes, it's
man.
We're going to go much more into depth a little bit later, of course, and you just heard his phantom voice, the producer, the guy running the show over there, Jonathan Boyko's here.
Phantom voice, Chris's shoulder.
And there's Chris Carson lurking. Taylor was
we can play Where's Waldo with her all day.
I mean, this is awkward. I fired Chris yesterday. She just keeps showing up.
We think she might have slept here last night. Unclear.
In the bathroom. We're not sure. And of course, most importantly, you guys are here. And we're so glad you decided to join us and make this a part of your day. Here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break it down into two parts. The first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. And also, I'll be hosting the first half of the show. Then the second half of the show, we're going to be taking your live comments and questions, which Chris will be hosting. I mean, since she's here. And this is how we're going to do that. Number one, you got to be watching live to get in a live question. Number two, when we get to the end of the main topics, we'll announce that we're opening up the super chats, and that will be your cue to start firing in your thoughts, theories, opinions, questions, whatever you got for us, and we will address those in the second half of the show. A little bit of housekeeping. Want to remind you guys that if you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube video, maybe you're out jogging or you're at work, good news, there's an audio-only version of the show called the John Campea Show Podcast. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to that. And also, we have another podcast feed called After Show, where we do all of our She-Hulk, House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, the upcoming Andor. That's where we put the audio feeds of all of our after shows as well. So make sure you guys go and subscribe to that as well. All right, guys. With all that down, let's get into a couple of off the tops here, shall we? And our first one is this. You know, one of the most odd pieces of news, yet oddly welcome pieces of news I've gotten in the movie industry over the last year or two was that Daniel Radcliffe was going to be playing Weird Al Yankovic in Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. And compounding the weirdness, it was a Roku original, which I'll be honest with you, one of my best friends, Sol, he's over there at Roku. I have never heard of a Roku original, just by the fact that I know some people over there, so I had no idea about it. Anyway, then we heard that they were going to play it at the Toronto International Film Festival. So they played it. Guys, the reviews are amazing. They like every review. Now, Grant, I've only read about a dozen. But every one so far, including like Variety. This is Variety's headline. Daniel Radcliffe lands cheers and nonstop laughter for manic Weird Al biopic at the Toronto International Film Festival. I was reading through this article and several other articles about the reception it got, and it said the audience went wild. They said they were just laughing hysterically the whole thing. Like, and I'm talking the major trades are saying, this thing is stupidly funny. Like stupidly. I even read one critic that said, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, has been replaced as the marquee satirical musical biopic.
That's blasphemy. I will not. I know, nothing, right? Nothing will ever, but go on.
I heard them say it. I'm like, but really?
So this is full on, like, it's biopic, but it is satire.
Oh, yeah. If you couldn't tell that from the trailer,
Yeah.
when he
Why
made a
did he
record
do-
executive put out a cigarette in his own hand.
So here it is at a film festival playing theatrically,
One of the most, if not the most prestigious film festival in the world.
blowing the doors off, and it's going to be a Roku original.
And it's a Roku original.
It's not going into theaters.
Roku's on the map, baby.
Rob, who was good? By the way, I'm meeting Weird Al Yankovic on Tuesday.
I don't think you can handle it.
I know. Everybody's already placing bets if I'm going to chicken out. My wife got us tickets. Weird Al's going to be in Riverside Tuesday night at the big Fox Theater, the historic Fox Theater out there. And Ann bought me and her backstage meet and greet passes with Weird Al. For those of you who don't know, Weird Al, I've walked right up to Harrison Ford and talked to Harrison Ford. I've chatted with George Lucas. I've talked to everybody. Weird Al Yankovic, despite the fact that I've been at like 7 different parties and events with him, is the one celebrity I've never had the guts to walk up to and talk to. Guy.
You better shoot. You better have Ann shoot this.
I know.
Which
So
I feel
I'm-
like it's funny too, because I feel like from everything I've heard, he will just be lovely. Like it's not like there's any reason to be. You know,
I grew like
Yeah.
I was a kid and I was listening to Weird Al's albums, like listening to Eat It and all that.
He's gonna
and
look
I was
like this. He's gonna be like, hey, John.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's practice.
And
I'll
I
get a
just-
Weird Al mask, and you can.
Handshake.
What do you say to this man?
Every time I've told the story before, I've been on it, like literally came out of a premiere and then we were on our way to an after party and he was literally standing on the step in front of me on the escalator going up to the club and Anne's like jabbing, she was, just talk, say hi to him. I'm like, no, I'm sure he's terribly busy and he's got a lot on his mind. I don't want to disturb Mr. Yankovic. And like, it's like, I don't know why, but Weird Al is the one celebrity that intimidates me. But I'm going to meet him this Tuesday. But Rob, if you asked me, a massive Weird Al fan, should they be putting this Weird Al Yankovic movie in theaters? I would say, no, you're not going to put this movie in theaters. But now everybody's raving about it.
Here's the thing. I mean, obviously, if it's a Roku original, Roku probably doesn't have any kind of theatrical distribution setup.
I mean, this is
for
true,
their
yes.
movies. But I do think that we live in a strange time where if a streaming service has made a film that's really, really good, I mean, you would think if it was, especially if this film is as good as they're saying it is, that this would only up the profile of this movie. So I didn't know I needed Roku. The Roku streaming service. But now to see this movie, I must get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll have one movie.
One movie.
Roku's one original, which in a way is kind of very Weird Al in itself. You know,
Actually,
it's
that's a
To
very,
put
very
Ro-
way-
like, yeah.
Maybe Weird Al himself goes, what if you guys made a Roku original film and it was about me? I mean, that's kind of a Weird Al thing in itself.
Amy, you hear about this. I mean, you saw the trailers for it. I'll be honest with you. I was not expecting a good response from this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nice surprise, Kel Supri. But you're seeing this reaction. What do you think?
You know, I'm not shocked. To me, this felt like it could be something that's a winning formula. Even just hearing how many like fun celebrity cameos they got. It's funny because they are very different because one is just a complete parody of the whole genre of the biopic, and this is kind of walking that line between. But it does feel very Walk Hard and that like a lot of fun cameos. I love just all the choices Daniel Radcliffe has made in his career post Harry Potter delight me.
Totally like doing a Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
Horns,
I always think
Horns,
it-
which I really liked.
Guns Akimbo.
I mean, he's done some crazy ass shit.
I always think of the tweet though that's just like he like keeps making these interesting choices and distancing himself, and I'm just constantly here like, look at the Harry Potter man go. Like I'll never be able to not think it, but I'm so proud of him. And in a weird way, when I heard that casting, I went, what? No, wait, yes. Like it kind of makes perfect sense. So I'm delighted to hear that this may be a genuine. Good for Roku. You know what? Good for them.
And good for Weird Al. I'm very excited.
Yes.
But anyway, guys, question is for you. You heard about, you're hearing about the responses coming out of TIFF about Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Listen, I'm shocked. Look, for all I know, I'll watch it and I won't like it. I mean, who knows? But I'm pretty excited to hear the response it's getting. What do you guys think about that? Jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's get into another off the top, and that is this. You know, we've been talking for a long time about the Netflix binge model. And I've been saying for a little over a year now, maybe even a bit longer, I've been saying within the next couple of years, you will see Netflix move to a week-to-week release schedule. And everybody said I was wrong, and that's fine. But it just makes sense. The reason I would be saying things like that is because the week-to-week schedule just works better. You look at all the other networks that do it on a week-to-week schedule, you see, like, especially when you have a good show. We take WandaVision, for example. It started off, first episode, not big numbers, but word started to spread. And then the second episode came out, and then the third, and the numbers just kept escalating until at one point it was the number one show in the world for a while. Because it went up and up and up because people started to spread organically word about the show. People weren't too far behind. They could go back and get caught up on the 3 episodes, whatever, and be right up, caught up with everybody. And instead of like, I always go back to this one, Punisher season 2 on Netflix. I love Punisher season 2, but that show came out, dropped on Netflix. People talked about it for 48 hours, and then nobody spoke of it again. Nobody talked about it again. It was literally in the pop cultural consciousness for 48 hours, and then it was gone, even though it was really good. Whereas Mandalorian, we talk about it for months. WandaVision, we talk about it for months. Obi-Wan, for good or bad, we talk about it for months. But I mean,
awesome.
that's the thing. Now, every once in a while, you'll get something like a Squid Game. But Netflix has so many great shows that they put out that a lot of them we forget, just disappear off the radar, and we just don't talk about them anymore, even though there's a ton of good ones. So we've seen Netflix starting to experiment with this. They got some reality shows that they do go with the week-to-week release. Then they started splitting some seasons in 2. They did that with Lucifer when they acquired Lucifer. They obviously did that with Ozark. They just did that with great success of Stranger Things season 4. Mm-hmm. They're going to be doing it with Your Beloved Manifest. So what they did, so with Stranger Things season 4, they put out the first half of it and everybody talked about it. But because X number of weeks later, another half was coming out, the conversation continued. Speculation about what's going to be in the next part, blah, blah. And it stayed in the conversation. Anyway, we say all of that because a new report is coming out of the very reliable Puck that Netflix is now looking at moving away from the binge model and moving into the more advantageous idea of doing a week-to-week thing. And this comes to us from those folks. It says this, and I'm reading this off of Screen Rant, who's quoting them. It now appears that Netflix could be on the verge of making a big change. In the newest edition of the Puck newsletter, it is suggesting that Netflix wants to move away from the binge model releases in some form. Netflix currently uses weekly episode drops for some reality competition shows, but there might soon be a time, and it should be soon, there might soon be a time when it becomes used for Netflix's biggest originals as a means of keeping viewers engaged over longer periods of time. So this is, again, coming to us from, originally from Puck. I'm quoting it from Screen Rant right now. Rob, I've been waxing poetic on this for a long time, that this is just the right move for Netflix. You get your audience engaged for much longer periods of time. But more importantly, and I think this goes back again to the whole WandaVision thing or Mandalorian thing, once a show is dropped and binged, I know some people, even though it feels like everybody in the world watched Squid Game, I know a number of people in my life who never watched Squid Game because when they finally heard all the buzz about it, everybody had already seen all of it and they had missed the train. They had missed the train, or they already know everything because all the episodes happen once, or they could never be on the same spot that their friends are. Because even if they both start watching the same time, Ellie might be on episode 8 by now. And meanwhile, Roger's on episode 2 and all that kind of stuff. So people have avoided getting on board with some shows because oh, that show's old news, came out 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I know, so Rob, you're hearing about this. Would this be the right move for Netflix? And now that we're hearing this, do you think this could actually become a reality with them?
Well, you and I have talked about this on this show for years.
Long time.
And I think that one of the things that people forget is with these binge models, you sign up for I want to see my favorite show, like Sandman. You binge it, and then you're done. And then you let go of your subscription until something else comes along. Well, if you have a show that you get sucked in by, like a Sandman that's 10 episodes long, 11 episodes, that's almost 2 months, of time. And 2 months of time where you're staying a subscriber to a channel, hopefully in that 2 months you'll find something else that you want to binge or a new show. I mean, I think that model is more stable in a way for streamers. I mean, I'm talking out of my behind right here. But I would imagine,
right.
yeah, but I would imagine that if even if there's only 1 or 2 shows that you want to watch every couple months from a streamer, you're going to keep your subscription there because they're going to keep you around for however long it takes you, the 10 weeks or whatever. And then you get your new show that's also 10 weeks and so on and so on, and it'll keep you into that streaming service. And for me, John, like you said, I've binged things on Netflix. I've binged things on Netflix that I watched all the episodes of like 2 or 3 years ago, and I'll see it and I'll be like, I did watch that, and I will have no memory of it. Like none. I can recite lines of dialogue from movies I saw 40 years ago, but streaming shows, if I binged them, I can't remember anything. And I don't know if that's a memory thing or if it's just
That's
because
also a lot of LSD, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just
no,
saying.
no, but no. I mean, it is a kind of thing where I look. Long story short, I think it's the right move.
Amy, you're hearing about this. Listen, I myself am a binger. Like I do like sitting down and like finding a show that I haven't seen and ripping through all them stuff. So what do you think about this? What's the best approach for Netflix here?
Well, first of all, I think that's such a good point because even thinking back on Stranger Things, and I loved this last season, looking back on it, when people talk about the finale, I'm like, yeah. What happened? Because
Right.
I had to tear through so much of it so fast because there was this weird pressure of, if I don't watch this pretty immediately, I'm going to get spoiled, and I could totally see if you weren't loving that show being like, I don't have 4, 5, 6 hours to commit in a night or a week to catch up with this. So I think the week to week is absolutely the move. I was even thinking recently with Stranger Things, it was such a pop cultural moment. It felt like when the season dropped, and it kind of fizzled a little quicker than I thought it. Now, I'm sure we're going to see just a disproportionate number of Eddie Munsons this Halloween. But
Yeah.
that said, it's like, I feel like that pop cultural moment lasted as long as the week to week release time would have been. And then they probably still could have ridden another 2 months of everyone being hyped about it. Not to mention the fact, if you are a binger, if that really is your preferred method to watch something, it's not like the shows come down after a week.
Yeah, you can wait.
Right.
You can
Exactly. That's absolutely. And I feel like there are definitely shows on Netflix when they switch to this model. There are shows I'd probably go, I'm not going to clear my whatever Thursday night every week for this. But, in a couple weeks when I remember that there's 6 episodes out, sure, I'll check it out. And then things like Stranger Things, you do get that everybody's talking about this the next morning, water cooler energy that some of those bigger shows like a Stranger Things, like a Squid Game, like an Ozark deserve.
I mean, and can you imagine if like this season of Stranger Things had been week to week? I mean, it would have dominated the entire pop cultural
Yes.
conversation 7 days a week for the length of the show. And there's something as a fan, like I said, I am a binger. I enjoy binging a lot, but there is something I love for us collectively as a fan base. That let's take House of the Dragon, for example. We all see House of the Dragon episode 1 at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we all get to talk and ruminate and speculate and whatever build up. And then comes Sunday night. And I kind of love that now for the next couple of months, Sunday night is the night that we set aside to gather around. We're all sit down. We're all going to watch Game of Thrones together. And I know all of my fan brethren and sisters out there, we're all sitting down together around the world watching this. There's just something great about that you can't do with the binging model.
And I think as fans, we miss that. I know I miss that sometimes. Just pop culture media in general has gotten so wide and so deep, and
Yeah.
there's so much of it. It doesn't feel like we get those water cooler shows anymore. It doesn't feel like we get those pop cultural moments in the same way. And I think people do crave that yeah, Monday morning, everybody's going, did you see it last night?
Right.
Yep, it's the thing. Anyway, guys.
I'll say one
What's
more
that?
thing just because no one brought it up. And it's the Star Wars effect from the 70s. It's merchandising. When you run these shows for a week, people are talking about it for a week, 2 weeks. 3 weeks after Netflix, after Stranger Things, you couldn't go to like a Hot Topic or anything or grab a Stranger Things shirt. You couldn't find any of the pops, anything. All that merchandising was gone because the excitement was gone and stores started selling other,
The
IP.
new hot thing that's
the new
out.
hot thing. If they could have expanded that to 8-10 weeks, you'd be selling merchandising throughout all of that and then a couple weeks beyond that. So it's a lot of money with
And listen,
merchandising.
I think their experiment has the idea of baby steps. Let's experiment with splitting the season in 2. I think that was the absolute right thing for them to do, that you go in baby steps. But I think they're seeing the results of that have been amazing. And I think we're going to, again, I don't think they're about to change this in the next 6 weeks or even this year, but I think it's coming and it's going to come soon. Anyway, guys, questions for you. What do you think about this? It sounds like Netflix is now actually seriously looking at moving things over to a weekly schedule. Maybe they won't do it for all their content. Maybe they will. Who knows? What do you guys think about that? Jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. Well, I mentioned that the Bills put a whooping on the Rams last night.
Ridiculous.
They are...
That
Amy,
sounded so
learning how to be a sports pundit all of a sudden. The NFL season is back, guys, so there's no more perfect time to thank the sponsor of today's episode, our friends at DraftKings. Guys, we want to take a second and thank one of the sponsors of today's video, DraftKings. Now, guys, I am a huge sports fan. And football fans, the first Sunday of the NFL season is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving new customers a can't-miss offer to celebrate the return of the NFL season. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. And as an added bonus for Week 1, everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. Bet on an NFL team to win, and if your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly even if your team goes on to lose. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code Campea to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet this Sunday. That's promo code Campea only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. And thank you to our friends at DraftKings for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Remember, guys, links and promo codes for all of our sponsors are down in the description of this video. And when you support our sponsors and try them out, you're actually supporting our channel. So thank you to everybody for that. And again, thank you to DraftKings. All right, guys. It's now that time of the show for our newest segment here on the John Campea Show. Our friends at Mint Mobile have allowed us to bring to you our Mint Mobile Hotline Question of the Day, where instead of just writing a question, you guys can phone in a question at our hotline. That is 951-268-4259. So what is our hotline question of the day today, Jonathan?
Hey, John and crew. I'm such a big fan up until since my college days. But my question is, it seems like Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, and whatnot, the Mandoverse, do you feel like it's eventually going to lead up to a big movie? And do you think that movie can pretty much change Star Wars for the better and for the fandom? Thank you so much for taking my question. Bye.
All right. Thanks a lot for calling that in, man. Yeah, look, when you're looking at a lot of the Star Wars shows, I don't think it's a coincidence that most of them are taking place in the same time period, right? Mm-hmm. So Mandalorian is clearly happening at the same time as Boba Fett, which is happening at the same time as Ahsoka, which it sounds like the new John Watts show sounds like it's going to be happening in that same time period. The Rangers of the New Republic, the show that is now axed, that was apparently going to be taking place in the same time period as well. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think, are they going to build up to something where we're going to see the amalgamation, the crossover of these characters? Well, I mean, we've already seen it happening. We've seen Ahsoka in the Boba Fett show. We saw Ahsoka in Mandalorian. We saw Mandalorian in the Boba Fett show. They've already started all this crossing over. Do I think they can build that up to some kind of big CW Arrowverse annual crossover event? I don't necessarily think they will, but they could. I mean, that's something they could be doing. Do I think, though, specifically to your question, that they could be building this up to a movie that could change Star Wars? The answer to both of those, I think, is no. There's no reason why you do all this on television, then try to carry that over onto the big screen. I just don't think the precedent is there for that. So I think it would probably be better suited as a television event. So I don't see that doing that. And would it change Star Wars? Absolutely not. It wouldn't change anything about Star Wars. This is in an older time period where we already know the outcome of a lot of the stuff that's going on there. And the people who are the fans of it are already the fans of it. So I don't really see that changing anything. But I'll tell you what, crossover television event, I think that'd be a cool idea. And I do think that's what they're probably aiming for. Rob, you hear about this? What do you think?
Look, I think Star Wars is working on TV the way they wanted to. And the last Star Wars movie wasn't so great. And I think they're waiting, and I think this is shrewd until they have a really great idea. And they're not going to make another Star Wars movie unless it's great. And they're going to hold off. I think the same strategy that HBO used, for House of the Dragon. They waited to sequelize. They tried it once, it didn't work out. They waited, and they've made House of the Dragon. I think if you see a Star Wars movie, it's going to be satisfying and it's going to be great, and that's why they're holding off. And I think for TV, the possibilities are endless. Look, I would love to see a crossover TV event. Not like the CW. I'd hope it's a little better than the CW crossover events. But I like these characters.
Other than the last one they did, I like the CW crossover events.
Okay.
The last one, not so much.
Titans on Earth X was good.
I really like that one.
I like that a lot. But I mean, I do think that there's great potential here. And look, I watched that 13-minute, the extended. They dropped it for Disney Plus.
The Andor
today.
thing. How good was that,
dude?
Right?
Like, come on, man. I mean, this is like the Star Wars I've wanted to see since the original. It looks serious. It looks thoughtful. It looks like it has real peril, real excitement. I love the characters so far. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Amy, you're hearing about this. Well, what do you think? Could you see them kind of leapfrogging this into a big screen movie kind of event? Could you see them doing it as a television event? What do you think?
I just don't see why they would. Honestly, I just don't know if they would want to risk that because this is going so well for them. Frankly, I think, to varying degrees of success. But I think on the whole, people are loving Mandalorian. They are generally, there's more success happening with these TV, these Disney Plus streamers. And frankly, they're still printing money with theme park presence, with merchandising. And yeah, I think it would just feel a little too risky to try to jump something like that to the big screen. I don't know if we'd see something completely advertised as like a crossover event. I think more because everything's existing in the same universe, it just keeps setting you up for that. Like, this character can appear here for a little bit. I think that's working so much better for them than doing like everybody's together now, like special, very special episode.
By the way, D23 starts today. There are people already, some of you probably watching this right now from D23 on your phones, maybe in your hotel rooms now. We're going to be heading there a little bit later today. Big announcements coming tomorrow for Star Wars. Maybe we'll hear about the big crossover, Mando, Boba, Ahsoka, whatever else, BB-8 crossover events. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, you jump on down in the comment section below and you let us know your thoughts. And once again, guys, don't forget, if you want to hear your voice on the show here, go to our Mint Mobile hotline, 951-268-4259. By the way, I got to let you guys know, I did a town hall meeting the other day with some of our channel members, and I let them know, and I will let you guys know too. We have been having so many people call in on the hotline,
right,
and obviously we can only answer one, maybe sometimes two a day, that I think starting next week, once a week, I will be doing a Mint Mobile hotline questions of the week little video where I'll pick 5 to 6 or 7 of my, not all of them, never guarantee that all of them get done, but I'll pick my favorite 5 or 6 or 7 that didn't get read on the Daily Show, and we'll answer more of them. So that's going to be coming up as well too. All right, guys. With all that down, let's now move into our main topics here today. And how do we select our main topics here on the show? That's simple. You guys come up with our main topics. Whenever you guys come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Amy, what is our first main topic today?
Our first main topic comes to us from Vic Haraguchi. Hey, John. Just watched the new episode of Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. I feel like it's really starting to find its stride, and the overall story is starting to take shape. Personally, I thought it was the best episode yet. What did you guys think about the episode, and do you think the whole thing is heading in the right direction?
All right, Vix, thanks a lot for saying that in. And just to let you guys know, a little bit later today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Amy, the sports fanatic Newman, and Chris, the Greek Carr, will be hosting our Lord of the Rings after show at 3 p.m. Make sure you guys, where they will talk about it in all open, spoilery goodness, all in depth, taking your thoughts and questions as well. So make sure you guys come on back and meet with them then and talk about Rings of Power. But we're going to talk about it in kind of a non-spoilery way right now. All right, little bit of context here. This is my most anticipated show of the last number of years that I've been looking forward to. Episode 1 I watched, not happy with episode 1. It was not, I mean, there were things about episode 1 that I quite liked. Things about it I liked. But overall, I was fairly disappointed. I actually almost gave up on the show after the first episode. Saw episode 2. I thought episode 2 was a significant improvement over episode 1. So like, all right. You got me back on board here. Episode 3 came out last night. All right. I agree with you, Vic. I think number one, I think this was the best episode of the series so far. I do agree that we are now finally starting to see the outline of what this show is actually about and what our general moving forward kind of narrative is going to be. That's all starting to take shape. And I think we started to really get a sense of identity about what the show is. I agree with all that, and I'll talk about that more in a second. However, let me talk about my ongoing complaint. Here's my ongoing complaint about the show. And it has improved. With episode 3, it has definitely improved. And hopefully by the time we get into episode 4 and 5, it'll be ironed out. But here's my complaint. I mentioned this on the John Campea After Dark last night. Pacing continues to be the biggest problem with this show. And this is how I kind of illustrated it last night, Rob. I want to know what you think about this. Actually, we might have talked about this before. When I watch a show like House of the Dragon, I feel like I am keeping up with the show. They have a scene, they have a point for the scene, they make the point of that scene, and then they move on to the next scene. And I feel like as we're gliding through that show, and I'm keeping up with all the show that is happening. With Lord of the Rings of Power, I feel like I am having to push through. I feel like I am having to endure. Instead of keeping up with it, I feel like I'm having to get through it. And and again, it's all an issue of pacing for me. It's all pacing because the point of a scene gets made and then we linger in that scene for another 2 to 3 minutes. There was a great example of this last night, which I thought was a great episode, but a good example of this where, without going into spoilery detail, Galadriel's on a horse. Why? Why do we need that shot? Why did we need that 35 seconds of
slow-mo
screen
was
time?
killing me.
That was just, okay, that was an example. Okay, I got to just get through this until we get to the thing that has a point, right? Now, once they get to that thing that has a point, I was eating it up and I was loving that. But pacing to me, and I said this last night, I said, if they had taken the first 3 episodes of Lords of the Rings, had a skilled editor, and had that be 2 episodes, if you had taken those first 3 episodes and condensed them into 2 episodes, I think you would have really been more onto something here. Okay, so now that I got that negative thing out of the way, and pacing is still an issue, but it does feel like it's improving. To me, this was the best episode of the series so far. We are now starting to get a sense of what is going on with Sauron. What is the plan that's taking shape here? Why is this, and this happening with Galadriel? Oh, now we know. We are now finally getting in some characters that are giving grander shape to the overall thing. We're learning a few more things about some characters that we've already known that we're going, aha, and we're starting to get what's going on. A particular emblem that one character happened to be wearing. It's like, oh, okay, yes, now I see you. This is all coming together a lot better now. Pacing is still an issue. I need to see them really dust that up by the time we get into episode 4. But anyway, Ray, you came in, you watched Rings of Power episode 4, or episode 3, I should say. You seem pretty bullish on it.
Oh, you know what? There's just characters that I finally found interesting. The thing that you brought up, I wasn't thinking about it, but you're right. The part where she's on the horse.
Yeah.
And you know what made me mad about that part the most is because of something that the House of the Dragon did, and I realized, other than like garlic hitting a hot pan, the sound of that, I love the sound of horses running, just running,
Galloping.
It's a big,
It is a very soothing.
and they
sound,
didn't even put that in. I was watching it. I don't even think it was in there. I was like, they omitted one of life's most beautiful sounds. No, I mean, on House of the Dragon, when they're riding through the forest,
Yep.
that sound, I was just listening to it. I was like, man, if I could wake up to just horses galloping sounds.
Well, that's
That'd
why
be
you like
awesome.
the Campea Ranch. So.
Yeah.
But you quite enjoy. You came in pretty happy about
I'm
it.
liking this prisoner elf. I don't know what his name is, but I'm liking this dude a lot. Like he is the guy that
He's not an elf. You mean the
or
prison-
what with the ears? The guy.
Oh
that
yeah,
was,
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
It
about.
starts
There's
with
a
an
couple
E. I
prisoners.
can't remember his
I
name.
don't.
Starts with an
I
E.
don't know his name yet. I bet you as weeks go on, because like through all the Rings movies, Legolas was the dude right there.
Yeah.
He was the dude. So this is probably gonna be the dude right here for me. So yeah, I can't wait to see what they. It's a lot more brutal than I thought it would be. Some of the
Yeah.
things that happened, I
Yeah.
was like, whoa. They do
Yeah.
that. They do that in this fantasy world.
It felt very action sequence, like very like almost,
Right.
Game of Thronesy for Lord of the Rings.
Before I forget, because I came in and I was talking to Jonathan about this morning too. Okay, so we knew this was happening because it's in the trailer. But when they enter Numenor, my jaw was on the floor. I just there are things you should linger on, and they lingered on that as they entered the Isle of Numenor and everything that it was going to be, and they did these sweeping shots of the entire civilization. It really trying to instill a sense of awe and wonder about what this place is. I was just, oh my God, this is gorgeous. Like it was just, it looks so good, because I see some things like Wheel of Time that was also on Amazon. And when they would do their like entering a kingdom things, it's like, okay, this feels pretty shoestring budget. And to be fair, compared to Lord of the Rings, it was a shoestring budget. But oh my God, this looked amazing. And look, does that look familiar at all? The spire coming out the end, and of course, the white tree. I mean, there are definitely things that we're going to see echoes of later on in Peter's. Anyway, I just thought that was gorgeous. Okay, that all aside, Rob, you had a chance to watch Rings of Power episode 3. What were your general thoughts?
Well, I liked the best of the 3 episodes. I thought it was interesting. I am a little concerned. We've now have 3 hours of this show, and we actually have very little narrative. I mean, Fellowship of the Ring was 3 hours, and a lot of stuff happened in it.
Yeah, and I feel like by the end of this episode, we are just finally. That's why I said I wish they have taken these 3 episodes and done it in 2, because by the time we reach the end of this episode, I feel like, okay, now we're finally starting to get, after 3 episodes, we're finally starting to get an idea about what this story is.
I just feel all of these scenes are strung out, like when Galadriel goes and confronts the queen and has that.
Let's not go into specifics.
Well, that scene goes on a long time. And you're like, I felt like they made the point. I get it. But it keeps going on. And I feel a lot of these scenes just are stretched out.
Pacing, man.
It's totally, I could cut every scene in half. And I thought that there was a lot of really intriguing stuff that happened in this episode. I'm like, oh, okay. It was interesting, but it seems like it's taking 2 or 3 times as long as it should to get where it's going. And I feel that there's a lot going on, like the Harfoot story. That story just seems I'm so not interested in there. It seems to me like, oh, that'll be a replay of Sam and Frodo eventually, but they haven't even gotten around to it yet. I mean, she's going to be the reluctant hero, I guess, Nori, and go out into the world, or she's going to befriend this stranger, and they're going. I'm just like, if you're going to do it, do it. Why are we waiting? I mean, why is it taking so long for this well-known story to unfold?
Yeah, the stranger thing is starting to gnaw at me. The giant stranger, the Harfoots. You know, the giant stranger that landed in the Harfoots.
Yeah.
Why is everyone looking at me like they don't know what I'm talking about?
No, but it's like, okay, this guy. That's like, you know what I don't like? That is not Tolkien. He's not a mystery box story kind of a guy. And this, it feels like with the stranger, it's
He
like,
is very slow, though. His storytelling is very,
because
very
that's
slow.
because there's many breakfasts and there's songs to sing.
Yeah, I mean,
there's things like that.
so I kind of take issue. We say that's not Tolkien. I'm like, actually, it kind of is. But it needs to be adapted.
No.
better.
What I mean about Tolkien is he's not a mystery box storyteller. He doesn't have someone show up and like, who is this person? I don't know. That seems like such a modern TV trope. And they'll drag that out for the whole season.
Because even in I can't remember which one it was, but Gandalf is like, "What's going on?" And you see him go to that library, and then he opens the scrolls, and he's like, "Oh, it's this," so he figures it out.
Well, I mean, that's a movie. You only have
Right.
a finite period of time.
But there's a lot in this second age. There's a lot they have to cover. I mean, I know it's going to be adapted. It's not going to take them 70 years to forge the rings. But there's a lot that has to go on, and I'm like, you guys better get to this because,
Yeah, but remember, and this is where I get concerned. When you say we got to get to this, in their heads, this is 50 episodes. Or however many episodes per season over 5 seasons, right? So I think whatever, it's going to be 40, let's say for argument's sake, say 40 episodes. This is a 40 episode thing. So in their heads, we're only 7% into the story so far. Mm-hmm. I need to see the pacing pick up. I do. I think they're setting up some great stuff. I do like the Harfoots. I'm getting more interested in them, but again, it's pacing. It's again, House of the Dragon, I feel like I'm keeping up with it. This, I'm feeling like I'm having to plow through it. And that's not a good feeling as a fan, but even though this was the best episode yet, I think. Anyway, Amy, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's interesting because I think I'm enjoying the Harfoot. Harfoots. That storyline is my personal favorite. I think just maybe sort of the family and the emotional element I'm just connecting with a little more than anything else in the series.
I do wish they'd wash their face once in a while, though. I feel like I can smell the Harfoot.
You just want to give them one of these. Overall, it's beautiful. And I think that's saving a lot of it for me because to me it is getting, I feel like they were like introducing new characters and some new plot stuff. And I was sort of going, no, I can't take more. Like focus in a little bit because there's plot lines we didn't even touch on this episode. So for me, it's feeling a little bloated, a little slow, a little unfocused, but ultimately it is so beautiful that there is just that overarching, like, I'm enjoying being here. I'm enjoying seeing these worlds. I'm enjoying just, spending time back with this level of high fantasy, with this level of budget, which just isn't something we get to see a ton these days, especially on television. So overall, I'm enjoying it, not loving it. I wish we just... I know Tolkien's slow. I know it isn't a Game of Thrones. It is high fantasy, but just a little bit of hitting the gas of, okay, here's what we're doing. I think if we start seeing that in season 4, or episode 4, I'll be
Tolkien's
I'll be
pacing in books is one thing. That's fine. But you got to understand this is a different medium that played differently. Your pacing has to adapt. You've got to adapt the pacing. It's got to move at a little bit of a quicker pace. And again, so we'll see. Like I said, I'm liking what I'm seeing, but they got to do something about the pacing. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see Rings of Power episode 3? I think the general consensus is that's probably the best one of the franchise so far. Hopefully it looks like they're heading everything in the right direction. They got to step on the gas a bit. Anyway, what do you guys think about it so far? Jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, we're going to take a second here and thank one of the sponsors of today's show, the only people responsible for getting any sense of vegetables into my system, the good folks over at Athletic Greens. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Athletic Greens. Now, I started taking Athletic Greens because I don't eat enough vegetables, and I was looking for a way to make up for that deficit in my diet of those vitamins and minerals that I really need in my system, and thank goodness I found Athletic Greens, and I literally take it every morning. You see, with one scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, all the things. And my wife got onto it, and now she absolutely loves it. Tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high-quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb, like Athletic Greens. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Campea. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Campea to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
And thank you once again to Athletic Greens for making sure John Campea stays alive and healthy.
John, you look beautiful.
Thank you. Smoke bomb, shift, change. Woohoo.
Wow.
Magic. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Card. I'm here to talk to you now. Amy, let's get into our second topic. What's that?
Picked the wrong time to eat a pretzel.
Oh no, that's my superpower.
Zach Stevens says, "Hey, John and Co. I just saw a report from Puck News that a sequel to 2015's Inside Out will be announced at D23 with Amy Poehler set to reprise her role. But Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling won't be returning because, according to this report, they had insultingly low offers from Disney. What are your thoughts on this, if they're true? Thanks."
Well, thanks for writing that in, Zach. Well, I'm very excited about an Inside Out sequel. I love this movie. It gave me all the feels. Justice for Bing Bong, though. I am still very upset about Bing Bong. I cry in everything. We all know this. I cry in every movie, but in Pixar movies particularly. And Bing Bong messed me up, y'all. I had to take a lap. I did not do well with it. But I'm excited to see another Inside Out coming. This comes to us from comicbook.com. Get ready to feel a lot of emotions because a sequel to Inside Out might be on the way. The news was broken on Thursday by Puck News, which indicated that the project might be officially announced at Friday's animation panel at this weekend's D23 Expo. If the project goes through, it would be the follow-up to Pixar's highly successful 2015 film, which chronicled the lives of 5 anthropomorphic emotions working inside the mind of a young girl named Riley. The original film starred Amy Poehler as joy, Phyllis Smith as sadness, Bill Hader as fear, Louis Black as anger, Mindy Kaling as disgust, and Richard Kind as Bing Bong. According to Puck, Kaling and Hader would not be returning to the sequel. All right. Well, thank you, Taylor. Oh, a Bing Bong. Oh, props for all. Yay, Taylor. Man,
I've got
doing the
that.
Lord's
I've got
work.
the clear Bing Bong where he's disappearing. Oh, it's tragic.
Why would you tell me about that?
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna put it on your desk tomorrow.
No. Oh, I'm going to cry so much. I find it interesting that these folks aren't coming back to do this, and especially giving these two actors and creators in particular a lowball offer. I mean, Bill Hader is on fire right now.
Even Mindy Kaling is
Yeah.
as well.
Mindy Kaling's always on fire. She is just dishing out great shows. She is hilarious. She is insightful. Her books are wonderful. Her shows are wonderful. I mean, I will say this too. I don't think animated projects need big name stars like this. And I say that obviously as a voice actor and somebody who loved the heyday of Disney having their kind of pantheon of voice actors that they'd go to for everything. A lot of times I feel like some on-camera actors don't make that transition, but this cast really did. I thought they all brought a lot of insight and a lot of really great acting chops to this. So, Rob, how do you feel about this news?
Well, first of all, I too love this movie. I think this movie was really clever. It was really interesting. I remember thinking, God, this is a really wacky concept that on paper might not have worked so well, but it's such a wonderful film. But I guess they figure because animation you can get away with changing the voices.
you
but
Or she
sounded
goes
like
on
it.
medication that just kills those two emotions for her.
No.
oh wow, that is a way to go though.
Yeah.
But
No more fear. No more disgust.
I think it's kind of sad because I like Mindy Kaling and I like Bill Hader very much, but like you said, they're on fire now. I mean, look, I know it ain't show friends, it's show business. I say that over and over and over again. But I always feel like if you're like, how much work can it be? You're the animation expert. Like Bill Hader goes into a booth for a couple of days, then he comes back a couple months later because they rewrite the part and figure out what they're going to do. So in terms of what they're offering him, I get it, but it's only a few days work, and you're following up work you did in another great, really great Pixar property. I don't know. Maybe I think people should do. If you're part of a franchise, you should do it no matter what they pay you.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
Even though that's ridiculous.
And
to say.
animation work, to be fair, right? It is a lot less hours than when you're on set, right? You're not having a 12-hour day with anyone. You're usually working in 4-hour sessions. You maybe are going to have a couple weeks that you come in to do this, but it is exhaustive work because it is so physical, right?
Sure.
You're trying to reach the mezzanine, baby, and you don't have 70% of the way that human beings communicate. So you've got to add that extra chutzpah. But if it's a really, really embarrassingly low rate, which is kind of what this is saying, right? That this was a very low ball rate. That's something I take issue with, just because pay discrepancy is always bad for anyone involved in a project, especially when you have a lovely ensemble like this. So that's my issue. Amy, how do you feel about all this?
I mean, I'm curious what like insultingly low is, because
It's
does
true.
that also mean, these two actors have somewhat blown up? I think especially Bill Hader with the success of Barry. Is he suddenly just going, I can ask for more money, and Pixar just doesn't want to up that rate appropriately? Overall, I'm a huge Pixar fan, generally speaking. I liked this movie a lot. I get why people love it. it is not a top fiver for me. And I feel like that's a controversial statement. Yeah.
I feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just didn't, I think it did something so ambitious and it did it really well.
Yeah.
It just didn't click with me emotionally like some of them do. So overall, I'm not as excited about this as I want to be because I also think they kind of explored this concept so fully and so well. Because for me, it's not my favorite movie, but if you're taking this concept, it's kind of, yeah, you did this kind of perfectly. So to me, I'm kind of going, I don't know what you do with the second one, especially if you don't have all your actors back. That said, I also thought there didn't need to be a Toy Story 4, and I thought Toy Story 4 was pretty damn good. So
I was in that same camp of why are we doing this?
yeah,
And then-
Pixar
and that was an
or a
existential
Monsters
film.
Inc. prequel that I think
Yeah.
is a terribly underrated film and really good and really helped fill out some cool stuff. So I will absolutely trust Pixar to surprise me. They also gave us Cars 2. So, could go either way.
We're not getting a lot
Shout
of
out to Cars
merchandise.
2, baby.
I'm sorry. Is that your top Pixar?
No.
Not 1 or 3.
Ray still needs to see Ratatouille. I feel like that is
What?
going to be Ray's like thing. It's so good.
What? That is literally my
started it,
favorite.
and I can't wait to finish it.
Okay, all right. I thought you were gonna say I started it.
'Cause he's
Chris
getting up
hated
in
it.
Save, Ray.
He's getting up in these spices, and I'm like, you know about these spices, bro? And I'm like,
Yes, that whole concept of anyone
Yeah.
can cook. I love
That
it
is
so
actually
much.
probably not only my favorite Pixar, but quite possibly my favorite movie.
I love it.
It's
Wow.
so good. Yeah.
whoa,
great.
really? Ratatouille?
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a great one.
Better watch it, dude.
Well, guys, the question is for you. Are you excited about Inside Out, or are you concerned this is going to be Riley reliving the same issues and maybe getting put on medications or something of that nature, like Amy suggested? Do you also find it odd that these other actors aren't coming back, and do you think that's an issue? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, with that out of the way, let's go on to our next topic. Amy, what do we have?
Our next topic comes to us from Dan V. Hey guys, so I know the new Black Adam trailer got everyone's attention, but a new trailer for Picard season 3 also quietly came out, and I don't see anyone talking about it. I thought it was great. I didn't think anything was going to be able to top Strange New Worlds as far as new Star Trek TV goes, but I think this looks like it has potential. Have you guys seen it, and what did you think about it? If you have, thank you.
Aw, thanks, Dan. And when the John's away, the RMB is going to talk Star Trek, baby. We're going to get into this. Yes, I'm going to let you just talk your little heart out. This is your thing. This is your soul. Oh, my gosh.
Well, as everyone knows, I do not like modern Star Trek.
First
I
time
don't.
hearing of this.
I know you know, have not. Through certain universal cogs and wheels switched into place, and I was afforded an opportunity, let's call it, to experience early Star Trek Picard season 3. And, no spoilers, but it was a real turnaround from Star Trek Picard. To say that I dislike Star Trek Picard seasons 1 and 2 is an understatement.
Yeah.
Star Trek Picard season 3 was entirely the design of showrunner Terry Matalas, coming off of he did 12 Monkeys, which I really thought was great. And it's a total turnaround, and I felt like I was watching real Star Trek, if in fact I was watching it.
Whoa.
And it was tremendous, terrific. And the trailer I thought was actually very effective. There's been this tendency with modern Star Trek to go very dark and brooding, which is sort of the antithesis of Star Trek. This kind of looks like it's more of the same, but there's tremendous peril, but there is also joyful, buoyant Star Trek classic character interplay.
Yeah, there's a lot of levity in this trailer, and I think a lot of that just comes from seeing these familiar faces.
I can say this, a half an hour into the first episode, Riker and Picard are working together, and you get that old feeling, baby. You get that TNG feeling,
Yes.
and you'll have a smile on your face as they go off on to solve a mystery.
Oh, I love that.
And it's
You told him he
I
could
did
talk
tell him
about it.
there was a pause, so I was going to feel it. I'm so sorry.
oh
Keep going.
no,
No,
that's all I can say. But I like the trailer. A lot of people find the starship design controversial. It's a Bill Krause starship design. I quite like it. The Titan, the refit, Titan A. The original Titan that Sean Tarangio designed is canonical. You can see it in Lower Decks.
Okay.
That is also taken into consideration. But that's about I probably shouldn't say anymore.
That's all you can say before they blow dart you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Paramount's gonna slap. they're gonna spank my bare bottom.
Okay, Paramount.
The one bun that's not in the grape, right?
The one bun that's not in the grave.
That's right.
Let's hear what IndieWire has to say about all this. Patrick Stewart brings Picard to screens for a third and final time on Paramount Plus series Star Trek Picard. Premiering February 16th, Picard debuts a new spaceship, like Rob was just talking about, the USS Titan, and brings the original Star Trek The Next Generation crew from the USS Enterprise D back together to save Dr. Beverly Crusher, Gates McFadden, Queen. The teaser for season 3 launched during Paramount Plus's Star Trek Day on September 8th. The 10-episode season of Picard marks Stewart reprising his iconic role of Jean-Luc Picard after 7 seasons on The Next Generation and 2 previous Picard seasons. LeVar Burton, Michael Dorn, Jonathan Frakes, Marina Sirtis, Brent Spiner, Jerry Ryan, and Michelle Hurd also starred. I got so excited seeing Crusher. I remember as a kid just being like, this doctor is the most incredible woman I have ever seen in my entire life. She's beautiful. She's smart. She was all kinds of goals for me.
She is badass in this, and she's in a place that you wouldn't expect.
Awesome.
And she's doing something that's really cool when this opens.
Oh, I'm so excited. Amy, I don't know if you're a Trek person or not. We've never gotten to talk about this.
Can I defer my time to?
Did you like the trailer?
The trailer looked good. I'm not a Star Trek person. It's one of those. It's always just felt like such an overwhelming thing to start. You know, it genuinely.
There's a
It's
lot,
just
yeah.
like you gotta like commit. You gotta pick a series. That's like the thing, and then that's a whole series, and then there's so many of it. So it's always just been a bit on my one of these days.
And look what happened to Rob. He turned out perfect.
And I don't want to be.
Wow.
And I will say too, like he knows so much about Star Trek that when I came in one day and was like, I really have enjoyed Picard season 1. The disappointment you had on your face for me, I felt on such a cellular level of like, oh no. And then when it was, Picard season 2 isn't really doing it for me, and it was, yeah, you're right. It shouldn't be, Chris. It shouldn't be. I felt validated.
Chris, you should have came at it a different way. First, you ask what Rob thinks about whatever you're watching Star Trek, and then you agree with him, and then everything is fine.
Listen, I would like to point something out. I'll be a contrarian to myself.
Ooh.
You know, there's a lot of people that are going to come to Star Trek for the very first time with the J.J. Abrams movies. Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Lower Decks, Star Trek Prodigy is going to be a whole new generation of people's first experience with the franchise. I'm sorry that that's the case, but it is the case. And I think you can't criticize people for finding the franchise. I think one of the things about Star Trek is its core concepts have endured. The franchise turned 56 years old yesterday. It was Star Trek Day. The debut in North America, well, actually in America, was September 8th, 1966, with the episode The Man Trap. Even though that wasn't the first episode that it should have been. It should have been Where No Man Has Gone Before, but that was the 3rd episode that aired.
The Man Trap?
The Man Trap.
That was my nickname in college.
That was
Go
one of my
on.
Tinder
The
Yeah.
Man Trap.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But
That was my contribution to the conversation. I'm tapping back out. Good
job,
night,
Amy.
everybody.
it's not what you might think. It's actually a very sad story, to be honest.
Yeah,
That has
So
one
was
of
my time in college.
It's all right, Amy. We'll talk about football next.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, I think anybody who's at all interested in Star Trek or who are like The Next Generation, you are going to love Star Trek Picard Season 3. Because if it can make a person like myself come back from the brink, like, I no longer wanted it. Modern Star Trek makes me want to scoop my eyeballs out with a teaspoon.
One bun curmudgeon.
Star Trek Picard Season 3 didn't.
Oh, well, thank goodness. Rob's Hazel's eyes are safe. Do you agree with him? Do you think this is going to be a great show? Did you like the trailer? Let us know your thoughts on this, the final season of Picard, in the comments down below. All right, we're just going to keep rocking and rolling. What's our next topic, Amy?
Finally, we have Austin asking, so the Black Adam 2 trailer dropped last night during TNF, and all I can say is, bruh. I was not super excited, but something about that trailer hit all the right cylinders for me. Also got to see Waller. Didn't even know she'd be in it. Also, the main villain, Sabak. Can't wait to bring on the hierarchy of power changing with the real Doctor of Magic, my man, Dr. Fate. Thoughts?
All right, Austin, thank you so much for writing that in. And yeah, we got a new trailer for Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like a new trailer, you guys? I know we were talking about this before the top of the show, but it feels, I still feel like I don't know what this movie is, really. And that's just me personally. And I understand it's the Justice Society of America coming to deal with Black Adam. So he's, the antagonist in that situation. But I'm not understanding what the through line is of this. Am I just not understanding the concept here? Are you guys getting what this is putting down?
I feel like I got more of the vibe of the movie from the first trailer.
Yeah.
Like somehow it got broader and more generic. Like it's badass, but it felt generically badass.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Generically badass. I mean, I watch this, everything in it. Like, I love seeing Dr. Fate, the Justice Society, Hawkman. All that stuff's great. But it seems to me like I want to know, when I watch any movie trailer, I want the kernel of some kind of an intellectual idea. And when I say intellectual, something that sparks my imagination, something that is in my mind. Give me a reason why this superhero movie is different than other superhero films. The MCU, Ant-Man. Oh, it's a heist movie. It's kind of a comedic heist movie. Civil War. Oh, Captain America and Tony Stark are at odds with one another. So this is an ancient guy who comes to our world now. I have no idea. Obviously, he's mad, bad, dangerous to know, and there's some beef.
Yeah.
But there's always a beef in every one of these movies. It's beautifully made. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson looks terrific as Black Adam. The costumes are great. The action looks great, serviceable. But I don't know why I should see this movie.
Yeah.
Why should I see this? How is this going to give me a different experience than any other superhero movie? And other superhero movies that we have in this day and age have a reason. Like, you've got the Justice Society. You've got Black Adam.
You've got Sabak.
You got
Looking
Sabak. There
really
you go.
Dope.
And?
But what?
Like,
But why is he
is
there?
Sabak around? Like, does he's
he
got
has skulls
skulls
on
for a
his neck.
spine?
Yeah.
He has skulls on the back of his neck.
That's
and
how you know he's
why-
bad.
That's why you go see it. Because
I
got
know
skulls
why
on the
he-
back of his neck.
I know why you guys should see this movie, because this movie looks dope.
What do you like about it, Ray? From
I'm
this
watching
trailer?
it right now. This looks cool.
Look at his little eyes. He's just
happy.
ooh, so
Just, oh.
excited.
I mean, I guess that's my
Aw.
issue is, you have a
He
villain like
likes it.
Sabak. You have which I always have a brief moment of the card game.
Yeah, I
from
know.
but who is a very interesting villain. I love all the demonic villains in the DC Pantheon. I mean, I'm a very, very big Etrigan fan. I love all those stories
I
about
love the
Jason
demon.
Blood. I think that's all really cool. So this is really, really fun and exciting for me, especially if they're playing with the idea of Ishmael becoming Sabak and everything. But I don't understand how he's fitting into this greater story. And for a third trailer, that's what I take issue with. If I had seen this
Yeah.
earlier, if we had seen this at CinemaCon,
Yeah.
I would have been losing my freaking
Yeah.
mind.
I don't know how you guys aren't in on this movie. That trailer was good.
If you're in though, Ray, I love that.
I'm in, baby.
I will say, this combined with the earlier trailers that I think did have a little more personality and I feel like gave us a little better sense. If you smush them together, I'm pretty excited for this
Yeah.
movie.
I still I guess I have questions about, and I don't expect to know everything, but I just don't have I do not have a reason to go out and see this movie right now. In terms of if I want generic superhero sci-fi action, hey, it looks fun. But even there's things in it, like we saw Iron Man fly with jets. Well, Black Adam's flying with jets. He takes one out. But I look at this and I'm like, okay, Sabak's a demon. He's 5,000 years old. There's the Justice Society. There's Amanda Waller. There's all these elements that I should be like, yeah. But I'm not.
And that's fair. I will say too, just to give them their due, Marvel a lot of times, as of lately, has really shown us a lot in their trailers. Some could argue too much. And we go into the movie going, yeah, that was in the trailer. I saw that, or I expected this. And we got kind of more of a paint by numbers from them. So maybe they are playing a little more tight to the vest,
I do
with
feel
this.
ready to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. And
Like,
there's
I was never in with this movie until
Oh.
I just watched this trailer. Now
This is
I-
what
You're
got
in,
you?
baby.
yeah.
Oh,
This
I
is-
love that.
Yeah. I didn't
That's
care
rad,
for
right?
whatever Rob's saying. That's the way I felt with the first couple.
okay.
Whatever.
I'm saying, that's how you felt.
No, I'm
It's
just saying.
true.
But now, did you watch the right trailer, Rob?
Yes, I watched the trailer multiple
No,
times.
seriously. Did you?
Rob checked his
I
show
did.
Okay.
notes and he did his job this morning.
I did, actually.
He's a very good boy.
I watched this trailer last night.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
for the first time, and I but look, everything in it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know why I need to watch it. What is the story that's being told? It seems like Dwayne Johnson is pretty one note throughout this entire trailer. They sacrifice his son. He's angry. He's come back after 5,000 years. He's still angry.
Have you seen The Game Plan?
The
With The
movie,
Rock?
The Game Plan?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. None of you guys seen The
What is
Game
that
Plan?
one?
No.
I don't know. It's my favorite Rock movie. It's the one where he's the football player, and then that little girl is his daughter, and he tries to win her back
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
because
cute.
her mom died or something like that.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Never mind.
Okay.
We care.
I'm worthless. Let's go.
I care.
What the Jesus, Ray? Don't put it on us, Ray.
I'm just saying, The Rock, he could be one notice, and he usually is. He might even admit that himself. But he brings this presence to movies that no one else could. There's like some sort of, when you're watching a movie, pumping your chest a little more, thinking you have muscles, because so macho. But yeah, man, this movie's just going to be a good time. We're going to have fun. Hopefully it doesn't try too hard to connect itself with everything.
Yeah.
Just explain this character to whoever don't know him, and then you should be fine. You know what I mean? Like, forget all the crossover stuff. Let's just end these last DC movies they have on their slate in a good way. Because a thing with you, Rob, I think, is that when studios fail you over and over, you trust them less, right?
Well, I mean, to be fair, DC, I really loved like Aquaman. I was a fan. I've been a fan of a lot of what they've done, and I'm looking forward to. While I didn't love Shazam, I love the character of Shazam, and I love the Marvel family, and we're getting more of that in Fury of the Gods. Excited for that, and Black Adam is part of that. I mean, I just want to know. I think when I look at this, we already know that there's going to be great action scenes, and Dwayne the Rock Johnson will be great. But I'm always interested in first and foremost, what is the story,
Right.
And how is this story going to be different from another story I've
Right.
already seen?
That's a great point too, Rob. Because we right now, as we say often on this show too, it's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to fandom properties, right? And so then how do you tell a superhero story, a superhero origin story for most of us too, in a way that feels authentic to the character, but also doesn't feel played out, feels refreshing for you as an audience, is still fun, hits all those tropes. It's a big juggling act.
And you think about it, you've got, like on TV, you've got the Doom Patrol, The Boys, and The Umbrella Academy. Those are 3 team-oriented shows.
That knock it out of the park.
They're wildly different, and I like them all.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yes.
You know how Zaslav has been axing things that he thinks isn't good. Do you think Black Adam could have ever been on the chopping block if he watched it, and let's say if he watched it, or were they too far into it where it just had to release?
No, I think that Dwayne the Rock Johnson he's such a big star.
Yeah, of course.
That there was
but
no, and obviously I don't think this movie. Clearly, it's not bad.
Right.
All the scenes, they're great. Okay, he's going to be great. My question, what I want out of it is, look, to me, a great superhero movie is the kind of movie where if you took all of the superhero action out of it, it would still be a great film.
Yeah.
And I think like Civil War, you don't need, I mean, obviously we love the battle at the airport, but if you didn't have that battle, you could make it a philosophical debate, more of a film between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers about their responsibilities and what kind of men they are, the Sokovia Accords, what they mean. That movie could still work without the action.
Okay.
I mean, this is all just commentary on the trailer, though.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
The movie could deliver.
It could answer all those questions and more. This is on their marketing and the trailer house who cut it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They
And
did their job with me.
That's the thing.
directors and writers have nothing to do with that part.
I'm not saying anything about the quality of the actual finished film here. I'm speaking about how this trailer made me feel. I'm still, I can't wait to see this movie, to be honest. I hope it's great.
Well, guys, the question is up for you. Did this trailer move the needle for you? Are you really, really hyped for Black Adam, or was this a bit more of the same for you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, y'all, we are going to open up those super chats. But before we get to them, we are going to take a quick second to thank one of the sponsors of this show. I love them. I use them every single week. The people over at Storyblocks. Check them out.
We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, well, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea.
And thank you once again to Storyblocks for being a sponsor of this episode. Remember, guys, anytime you use these Campea codes, you're not only getting yourself a wonderful deal, you're helping all of us out too. We keep the lights on thanks to you. So we appreciate that. And speaking of your support, let's get to all of your questions. Ray, do we have any member ones first?
Yeah, we got one from Harv's K. He writes, "Hey, John, totally get why you had to bow out yesterday. I'm sure I would need more than a minute when Harrison Ford and Paul McCartney finally leaves us. May they still have many long years ahead."
Oh, yeah. I mean, death hits everyone differently, especially if you have a very personal connection to them. And, you know, John's Canadian, so I understand.
All
I
right.
took a day when Gene Wilder died. I get it.
Yep.
Dennis Lecomte, your men love you, and that if I knew nothing else but you tilt when you should withdraw. That is why I continue to follow the show. Thank you, John. I have no idea where that quote is from.
Sounds military, but
Yeah.
hey, we'll take it.
But thank you. All right. Leo Lang writes, "Happy Friday, Campea crew. Rob, Blackpink concert tickets go on sale next week. Should only cost an arm and both legs."
You gonna go?
I'd feel unclean. I think I would get in trouble.
A
at
little hair
Blackpink
dye,
concert.
you know.
If I had somebody like someone's daughter, I could take with me, and if I was just standing around by myself, it would just be weird.
What's that look?
He doesn't mean like a date. He just means like someone that
Yeah.
would be in that.
Yeah, like if I was taking.
Of course.
Where's your mind at?
We love
you know
you,
what I
brother.
mean.
We love you,
I mean,
brother.
if I go to a Blackpink concert alone, come on.
Rob, I'll go with you. We'll twerk.
Aw,
Well, then
there
see,
we go.
There, plans are made. Thank
Taylor,
you.
Taylor's such a giver.
Taylor's in my area.
I know ice cream. Do you know ice cream?
Wesley Nakona writes.
Is that a dance move?
Wesley Nakona writes, "Ray, have
Yeah, I
you
know
played
ice cream.
Multiverses? It's a lot like Smash Brothers, but it's a Warner Brothers game, so it has characters from DC, Cartoon Network, HBO, Adult Swim, etc. I'm obsessed with this game." Well, I got to tell you, when it first came out, I was playing it. I was actually in the lab. We call it in the lab, whatever, when you're practicing some guy and not playing against other people. Iron Giant. And then when I brought up that I was playing Iron Giant, a lot of people in the chat were dogging on me because I guess like there's some characters that come out and they're too much power, or like they're
Oh.
overpowered. And I guess
So
he
you were
was one of
choosing the
them.
game?
But me, I like robots. I like playing the big characters in every game. Zangief in Street Fighter. I mean, just the bigger guys. So yeah, I haven't touched it in a while, but I saw IGN released a video. Gizmo's going to be in the game from Gremlins.
Oh, hell yeah.
So let's see that little dude, see what his moves are. I'm very excited to watch that video. But yeah, I played it, but I haven't been playing it.
It looks so fun. I just love that you can be like Finn from Adventure Time or Arya Stark. Like the multitude of characters is so fun.
It's a great idea. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, with the properties they have, they could really use that. Dave XP, last one from Dave XP, he writes, "It's a family tradition of ours to watch all the MCU shows together. Episode 4 of She-Hulk has been one of the most awkward viewing experiences we've ever had. Just pure silence, and nobody laughed once."
Harsh.
Man.
Wow.
I mean, but this could be a teachable moment of just, all right, kids, and this is how we don't behave when we go on dates. You know, make lemonade out of those lemons.
Well, I hope dinner was good at least. Will your family dinner that night?
No one will make eye contact for a week, but it's fine.
We had some spirited discussion about She-Hulk yesterday, about what can and can't happen with her. And,
We did.
You know, you could still. I was thinking about it when I went home. You know, I still can't get over if She-Hulk gets pregnant or She-Hulk form, what happens?
It was great. Visually, that was great. You'll see it later.
All right, is that it for our members?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to super chats then. Amy.
We got Jason Stewart sending in a super chat. Thank you for the support, Jason. James Argenta said, The Hollywood Reporter is reporting Iman Esfandi is Ezra in Ahsoka. Also, the end of Inside Out teased the sequel with the puberty alarm on the new control panel. It's true.
That is a very fun little bit in there. I don't know much about Iman Esfandi. He looks great for the part. I mean, he looks
Yeah.
like the character Ezra, but I'm not particularly familiar with his work. I know he appeared in King Richard, according to IMDb. Maybe we can ask Erin about him. Maybe
Right.
she knows him.
But hey, I trust that they've cast it well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I believe in him.
I mean, I think we all knew that Ezra Bridger would show up in this show.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a surprise.
Ben Rainier with the $20 super chat. Thank you, Ben. With all these fantasy shows. With all these fantasy shows on TV, have any of you seen the show Gallivant? It's a musical spoof fantasy show that was on ABC, lasted 2 seasons. It was a great palate cleanser, so funny, and songs are catchy.
Ben Rayner, first of all, thank you for that amount of support. If you think I was not watching a musical sitcom, you crazy. That show was so good. I was so heartbroken when it got canceled. I really wanted Netflix to pick it up. Timothy Odmondson is so good in this show. It's music written by Menken. It's so wonderful.
I saw clips and it always looked delightful, and I always meant to catch it, but I feel like it was hard to find. Like it was one of those that was, just on the
weird-
network,
yeah,
and you
it was
couldn't.
a weird time slot on ABC, which wasn't great. As a musical theater person, like
Yeah.
I think you would really, really enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure I would.
It's super fun. Oh, thanks, Ben.
Alex Mata says, I'm worried Black Adam is going to be a cliche. Rivals team up against greater villain and everything is fine. Nah, have him sweep the JSA. That's how you make this movie different.
I mean, that's a fair point of just, and he cooks all those fools. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can't take out Dr. Fate, Hawkman. Come on.
I mean, you shouldn't, but you could. Let's give this movie some real stakes. Yeah.
Wow.
Dante Cericchia said, hey, crew, since Rob has one bun in the grave, should Taylor create a Rob impression parody show called Post-Cheek Singularity?
Dante.
You know what? That's,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
I'm gonna
For
clap
you,
for
our
that.
friend.
That's
There
pretty
we
good.
go.
The answer to
Aviation
that is
shot of
yes.
the day.
Shot of the day. Next shots in the class.
Oh, that's for Dante.
Ulaton said, who would win, Mind Reader versus Future Seer?
Future seer.
I would win a lot of money with future seer.
Yeah.
Future Seer.
Probably.
Yeah.
I forgot this was a audio medium for a second
But
as I
then could
really
mine
thought
I know you
about it.
pondered the issue for the first time.
But
I mean,
they
if you
could-
could see the future,
Yeah,
knowing
then
how to
it
read
could
someone's
be-
mind's great, but that's in the moment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you knew what was coming, like for instance, the lottery.
But I mean, it.
Could he read his mind while he's seeing the future and funnel that?
And he would know what the future would be because he could
Then they're both
see the future
seers,
in
but
his
he's reliant
mind that
on
he's
him.
read.
Then you also have to think that the future is like not in flux and that there's no, you know.
Yeah, because if he looks and he's just like, well, lost this fight, what do you do?
Yeah.
You'll never die.
But probably.
Well, damn.
Good question though.
Amin said, what I think Marvel will announce at D23 for the rest of Phase 6 is that,
Armor Wars.
there we go.
Yeah.
Armor Wars, someone else smells toast, right? Armor Wars release date, Deadpool 3, Wonder Man show, Moon Knight Season 2, Shang-Chi 2, Eternals 2, Nova show, Doctor Strange 3. Thoughts?
Oh, I mean, those are all big possibilities. You're going to be there today, though, right?
Yeah. Well, they're tomorrow's when they'd make those announcements. So they
don't know
sound
the
good to me.
Yeah.
I'm in.
You're on board with that? You approve?
I approve.
Oh, good. Well,
Bring it on.
there you go, guys.
It's official. Sam Fisher said, I liked Rings of Power episode 3, but it's still really slow. I needed to pick up and answer more questions than it asks, or I might just wait, then binge it after it airs.
That's fair, Sam. I mean, I know that was a thing you were talking about, Amy, is just bringing up more issues.
That
before.
said, I did have to binge 3 episodes in a row last night because I was not caught up, and I don't know if I fully recommend it because the slowness does kind of compound by about the third episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that my problem with this show is that we know that the War of the Ring is coming. We know that the rings are going to be forged. We know all these things, and now Galadriel knows that Sauron's coming back, and they're playing. I feel like with House of the Dragon, for instance, just to contrast, they move that show far. Every episode they move it quickly, they move it fast. They know where we're going. With this, okay, you're going to be cagey and cheeky about who Sauron is. You're going to wait for the first season to tell us. Like, okay, he reveals himself, and then what? Like, why are we waiting?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now you've got it. Let's get to the politics of joining all the peoples of Middle Earth to have to fight against him.
That's a fair criticism. And we'll get into this in the after show, too, because I know, Jonathan, you were talking about the timeline in general as well on this. So we'll have some more thoughts on this for you guys this afternoon.
Luis Enrique de la Pena said, if you were David Zaslav, which superhero movie would you have axed, Marvel or DC? I mean,
Oh,
none
goodness.
of them.
Which one would I have gotten rid of? The one that doesn't exist. Bye, Flash.
Oh, yeah. There you go. I was going to say none of them. Well, but even Flash, I'm like, I don't know, just as like a creative and knowing so many people who work in so many facets of the industry, it's like one shitty person should not negate everyone getting their work
For sure.
seen.
I also just don't think that movie has, like, been made. I feel like it's still in production.
No.
I don't know. I can't think of a movie that I would axe.
If I had to
Yeah.
do one, it would be Flash.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're talking about the modern age. I would go back and I would axe the Halle Berry Catwoman movie,
That's a good call.
directed by Pitoff.
Oh, man.
I would have said, no, I mean, I appreciate Halle Berry, and I love Sharon Stone. I love me some Sharon Stone. So,
Yeah.
But that movie, I would have axed that movie.
I mean, I maybe would have gotten rid of Morbius. Maybe Steel.
Steel's another one I was
Steel's
thinking
another
about.
one that could go. Yeah.
I mean, I think Morbius wasn't. It's not that it wasn't good. It's that it wasn't what it should have been.
No, exactly.
Like I would have gone back and redone Morbius and made it a hard R and lean into the vampirism and the horror elements.
Yeah. Well, and
Shown some blood.
that'd be pretty cool in a vampire
Blood
joint.
and a vampire? No.
That'd be wild. How novel. And that's another thing. You talk about editing messing something up. That felt like the edits in that just were so weird. There was ADR that made no sense.
Yeah, it was
all over
it was
the
a
place.
mess.
It was a shame.
Josh Becker said, can't wait to hear who the cast of Fantastic Four is.
Well, there's the cast. You've got Reed Richards, Sue Storm. You've got The
Ben Grimm.
Thing, and you've got Johnny Storm.
Spoilers,
That's the cast
Rob.
right there.
Spoilers.
That's all you need
Yeah.
to know right
Right.
there, man.
I'm very excited.
And
for the
maybe Victor
announcement.
Von Doom.
Maybe. Woo.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
I think you missed the most important. Mephisto.
Oh, that's right.
Jake the Goat. We've already seen him. What else we got?
Speaking of,
Andy said, damn, Mephisto finally came in Black Adam.
Well played, Andy. Well played.
Don't love the phrasing of that.
That is
Oh
good
boy,
That is
glad I didn't say that one.
that's a different streaming service.
I'll get us demonetized.
Yay.
Matt Sanders with the almost $20 super chat. Thank you, Matt. Hey guys, kind of a production question. In Elvis, how did they do that scene of Austin kissing all those women in peak COVID? Thanks. CGI. No, probably just a lot of testing.
A lot of testing.
Yeah.
I know.
There's a really thin piece of plastic
That's a
between
literally
them.
some television shows were doing stuff like that.
Oh, that's true. Oh, do you remember the was it a soap opera where it was very clearly a mannequin
They
head
would
from
use-
behind?
They'd use mannequins. They'd have people's spouses come in. Some people, they did the plexiglass thing.
Yeah.
But after a while, production just went to isolation, COVID testing, rigorous COVID testing.
Yeah. Probably making sure you have vaccinated actors and just
Exactly.
rapid day of
Yeah.
kind of testing
Yeah.
situations and maybe isolating if they had to.
Probably
for those big crowd
You know,
scenes.
just making out responsibly, as you should. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. I can't talk. We're going to take a quick break to hear from the sponsor of this entire show, Ryan Reynolds' folks over at Mint Mobile.
We want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, What's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of the retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. And guys, I have been using Mint Mobile for months now, and I could not be more thrilled with the service. I also couldn't be more thrilled with the fact that my phone bill now is literally 1/3 of what it used to be with my previous major carrier. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.
And thank you to Mint Mobile for being a sponsor of this episode of The John Campea Show. Ray, you've got a member chat?
I got one actually for you from Groovy Don't Play.
Okay.
Says, hey, I am seeing How Did This Get Made live in Chicago, and they are doing Chris's favorite movie, Morbius. I can't wait for Jason Mantzoukas to trash it.
Oh, yeah. Jason Mantzoukas is hilarious. Everyone on
who is
that is. He was Rafi on The League.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. It's him. Oh gosh, what's her name? Like Diane Raphael. I can't remember her last name. And she's married to Paul Scheer, who is also on The League.
Right.
They all do this podcast together, and they're hilarious. So I hope you have a really, really great time. I can only imagine how much fun it's going to be with them just wrecking Morbius. Enjoy that. All right, what else do we have for the super chats?
Randall Workman says, guys, thank you for all that you do. Show was great as always.
It ain't over yet.
Thanks, Randall. We appreciate you.
Still time.
We could still screw this all up.
Suthia said, I've never had a Twitter account, but I just opened one for the sole purpose of tweeting Feige to keep Wong and Madison best friends in the MCU.
Aw, Suthias, that's great. Twitter is kind of a hellscape, so just use it responsibly. But
just
you're
dip
using it well.
Just dip a toe and go on. If you get too far into it, it gets really dark and awful. So
Yeah. Good advice.
Set a little timer.
Yeah.
Like my mom did
You
when
do
we
a
were
little
kids playing
Pomodoro
video
timer?
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little egg timer. Like your 30 minutes is up. Get off the hellscape. The Jay Shrey Way said, did y'all see the Terrifier 2 trailer?
I did.
Yeah.
No.
He's everyone's favorite killer clown. It looks very low budget, but the first movies, it's sufficiently bloody and brutal. This looks to be more of the same.
Ooh.
It looks. There's some. Did you see Terrifier?
Yeah, this one looks lit, and Chris and I are going to be watching it the minute it comes out.
Oh yeah.
I love your hope that I
Her
will see these
review is going to be
things.
up pretty soon.
Well, will I be missing out on key plot points if I didn't see the first one?
No.
No?
I'll fill you in.
How shocking.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't watch the first one. That would not be something I would recommend.
Any of that shit, y'all. In my free time, I like to watch cute things. Life is horrible. Life is chaos and misery. I want to see nice things.
Oh, see, that's how I kind of got into horror. Like the first time I went through a haunted house, it was just like, oh, I want to scream all the time, always. And now it's socially acceptable. You just got to flip the script.
Oh, see, I do roller coasters for that.
Fair.
And kickboxing, so I can just like punch out all my aggression. Thanks, Travis.
Respect. Perfectly Legal Blockade said, question for the whole crew. Who is your favorite Batman? Mine is Will Arnett as the Lego Batman. Hilarious. Great job, everyone.
Well, I would be remiss if I did not say Will Friedle as Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond, the truest Batman. Who's everyone's
I
actual
you know what? I got to go with Christian Bale.
good one.
I'm like in the Will Arnett poll because I believe that might actually have been the first Batman movie I ever saw. So, soft spot.
I mean, I really do like Ben Affleck, but he never had his definitive Batman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
He didn't get to expand those bat ears or
No.
wings.
Who's yours, Ray?
My favorite Batman so far? Yeah, Christian Bale. Has
Nice.
to be.
You too, Jonathan?
I wasn't really listening.
Do you like a Batman? Do you have any favorites? What are your hopes
So
and dreams?
this is Batman and Bruce Wayne, right? Because I feel like,
yeah.
I have to say, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's called The Batman.
Did you direct it?
You could probably stream it now. I thought it was a stunning performance. It was beautifully shot.
Yeah.
Direction, I can't even.
The direction was
It was over the top
outstanding.
direction.
Oh, man.
Oh my
Amazing.
gosh.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That guy, he knows what he's talking about.
Or Kevin Conroy.
Kevin
doing good
Conroy,
anime.
yeah.
Where's the
He's
Adam
the
West
ultimate
love
Batman, right?
in this room?
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere.
What else we have?
Koa1708 said, if Black Adam fails, what do you think will happen with the current DC universe? Massive reboot?
No.
Aren't
Well,
they doing
What's your
that right
definition
now?
of fail?
The thing is, you've got Shazam coming, you've got Aquaman coming, you do have the Flash coming. So, I mean, obviously, with Amanda Waller, we know it's set in the same DCEU that's existed.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they're going to reboot or not.
I feel
I
like,
feel
they're
like
just
it's
cleaning shop as
how
they go.
those next, if they have kind of bomb after bomb after bomb, or if some of these are a little more like, okay, we can see the direction to ease.
I mean, I could see them after Flash comes out because of the Ezra Miller situation, after Aquaman comes out, and after the Shazam and Black Adam films come out, that they could end this current iteration of the DCEU, whatever that is, and start over.
Oh yeah.
And they've got now the Matt Reeves. I mean, if you wanted to, you could. I don't know if that universe would work. I kind of feel it should be standalone. But go back and just start from scratch and do Justice League Mortal or do something else.
Shift it up, and then the outweigh Jason Momoa can be Lobo.
There you go.
There we go. Be the
That's-
main
I
man.
like that idea.
All right.
Bobby Jackson said, at last year's Investors Day, Kathleen Kennedy already said the Star Wars shows will culminate into an event series.
Yeah, she's probably talking about that as the Ahsoka, the Mandalorian. Probably the retaking of Mandalore, I would imagine.
That makes sense.
Something along those lines.
We'll probably learn more about that this weekend.
Yes.
Andy said, this is how I always imagine Black Adam, a brooding version of The Rock who doesn't look or sound as if he came from ancient Egyptian-like culture.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Fair criticism.
I'm 5,000 years old, but I speak perfect, unaccented American English.
Exactly. I mean, we can go watch Scorpion King anytime, though,
We can, but
Yeah.
will we?
But will we?
Al
Low-hanging
Renshaw
fruit.
said, my repaint Boba Fett hot toy is supposed to arrive next week. I'm hoping I can control myself and not order the Mando and Ahsoka hot toys immediately.
You won't be able to, Al.
Yeah.
The call of the hot toys will get you
Rob,
every
stop.
time.
Stop pushing people. Stop pushing the.
Al's already on. He's already on the train, man. He's already taken that first snort.
It's so sad. No one will give me a ticket on that train.
You'd have to win a bet.
Poor Ray.
Morgan Holmes with the $20 super chat.
Thank you, Morgan.
John, I would like to applaud you for After Dark. Way to fight through to answer our questions. Oh, and look at the cast credits. A certain Man of Steel is listed for Black Adam, D23, Campea Takeover.
Is that true?
Is he listed on there for Black Adam?
I don't believe that yet. I don't know.
I don't know about that. But yeah, there is a new John Campea After Dark if you want to check that out. And you can watch that on this YouTube channel once you're finished with the live stream. All right, what else?
Chris Leonardo with the $20 super chat. Thank you, Chris.
Wow.
Love seeing the almost full house today. Just missing Aaron. Thank you for the show today. Made Friday work drudgery fly by.
Oh, anytime, Chris. Thank you for supporting the channel on that level. And yeah, one day, hopefully, we'll have everybody here. I'm hoping we do another one of those live in-person events like we did like pre-pandemic. That was so fun. That'd be really nice to do
We
with
can do one
everybody.
today. Like, there's a taco place right there around lunchtime.
Come on out.
You just go to a
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah.
You go to enough bars in the LA area, it will someday become an accidental
you will
meet and
find
greet.
us.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Matthew Carter with the $20 super chat. Thank you,
guys.
Matthew. After watching the trailer, is it possible that Black Adam doesn't know the wizard? He seems to think his powers were born out of rage. Do you think they just gave him the powers and he doesn't know why? That could be interesting.
Ooh. I mean, we're definitely going to delve into the origins of how Black Adam came to be. And I'm wondering if that connection to Shazam and to the wizard and everything is going to be true to the comics because the Shazam films are so much more lighthearted. I'm wondering if it's going to be that direct correlation.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rob?
I think there is going to be sort of a correlation, but Black Adam's sort of the flip side. He is that dark energy, angry.
He is not pure of heart.
He is not pure of heart because his son was sacrificed, and it'll be interesting to see how they play all that out. I don't know. Like, I think it's weird that we're getting a Shazam and a Black Adam movie, but they're not in each other's movies.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird,
It
but
seems very odd.
hey,
Friends
I'm
over
there
friends.
for it.
Tim Platt said, to explain the game to my non-football inclined peeps, think of the Bills as Darth Vader and the Rams as the rebels in Rogue One.
Okay.
All right.
But so then Darth Vader is Leah Michelle.
And the Rams are Beanie Feldstein.
Thank you. Okay.
Wow.
I get it. Thank you.
Wow,
guys.
that's topical.
Yeah.
Well
You
done.
know what's amazing? I didn't understand any of that. So,
It's a little Broadway for you there. A little Broadway.
Andy said,
don't
love
even
how
understand
after
football.
5,000 years, Black Adam comes back to his home of Kahndaq sounding like an American. Just swap out his cape for Homelander's cape.
Ooh.
Well, and also, I mean, I think I hope they do this, but I think if you're Black Adam with all this power and you're 5,000 years in the future, I want to see that fish out of water vibe. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, he walks around looking at the modern age, because think about how technology, I mean, cars, planes, all this stuff. For him, that's, what are these things?
Yeah.
Unless it just magically appears in his mind and he knows what they are. I love fish out of water montages. Give me a fish out of water montage. I'm in.
Especially because The Rock is a great action hero, but he can also be very funny and charming.
Right.
And it's like a little bit of that, I think, would go a long way.
Yeah. And so far, we're not seeing a lot of that with Black Adam. It's all very brooding, which is fun to see The Rock do something so different. But
There's not even like one joke.
Yeah.
You know, like there's one, it's been 5,000 years, you know, and one aside, one bon mot from him that he throws out. I'm surprised that we haven't seen that.
The only joke so far has been that one guy trying to wail on him and then him just throwing him.
Right.
Which, works. But yeah.
A little more of that vibe, though.
I just think Black Adam should smile more. I mean, I think
he's
that'd
so
go a
pretty
long
when he
way.
smiles.
Watch The Sopranos.
Peter Cunnington said, Cobra Kai never dies.
well, at least it hasn't for 5 seasons.
Yeah. One day
It
I'll watch
hasn't
that show.
35 years
Yeah,
either.
man. I'm actually probably going to binge it this weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
About all y'all, but that's what I'll do.
I'm going to work.
Fangblaze71 said, what's y'all's favorite season of Game of Thrones?
Ooh.
Man, so many.
I think
choose
maybe
from.
6 for me.
I'm trying to remember what happened when.
Season 6 was Battle of the Bastards
Yeah.
and
Ooh, okay,
all
yeah.
of that. And I think cinematically and just everything narratively, it kind of peaked with 6. I think it also, I could be wrong, was that when they had the Westeros Avengers assembling and going into the north through the gate of the wall, and then it kind of ends with them going off into the mist? Or was that season 7? I feel like that
I
was
think
season
that was
6.
season 7.
Was it 7? It kind of led up to that in 6, but I think 6 was mine.
I drank a lot of Game of Thrones scotch throughout the duration of this show, so the events and the timeline, I'm a little foggy on.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think I like season 3 the best because how engrossing the story was. And I knew that the Red Wedding was coming, but still, I thought that whole season was incredibly satisfying from a narrative standpoint.
Red
Where
Wedding.
season 6 was great, but it had, you know, the Battle of the Bastards was this long time. It was a showstopper as opposed to the overall season. But it was good.
That's fair.
Was it season 4 where they the wildlings attack the wall?
Ooh, that's a good question. That was great.
Maybe.
That's the one they released. Remember, they did 2 episodes they released on IMAX. You
Yeah,
just seen it in theaters?
Egret was there, so maybe that was season 3 too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was earlier seasons like that. That was a great season too. So yeah, maybe then 3.
My first episode was Red Wedding, and that was a choice.
Your first
That was
episode?
wedding,
Yeah, my
So you're just like, I don't know who these people
I
are,
have
but
no
oh
idea what's
shit.
going
but
on.
so long.
My friends were just like,
And
"Do you
you're
want to come over and
crying.
watch Game of Thrones?" I went, "Yeah, sure." And I sat down, and my one friend who read the books, looks at me and just goes, "Do you know what's going to happen?" I was like, "No, I've never heard of this show." And he's like, "Wonderful, Christine. Take a seat." And then everyone started being murdered, and like pregnant women were stabbed, and I was like, "What is this show?"
Yeah.
Like, stay in your seat and keep watching.
Yeah.
Don't close your
Don't
eyes.
you refill your drink now?
They
Man, your
clockwork
friends are
oranged
mean.
you for some
Yeah.
reason.
Ooh.
Alex Mata said, fun fact, Bob Chapek's grandson played Baby Thor in Love and Thunder.
Nepo baby.
Baby Chapek?
I didn't know that.
Nepotism
Oh, there
at
he
its
is.
finest. Look at you. Look at you.
I
Proud
thought that
of
was the baby
yourself.
for a minute.
Casting your own baby. I mean,
It is
Baby with
easy
a
to
big
picture
red
him as a baby.
Don't mean maybe.
You just shrink him down. We got, can we scroll
Oh, here we
slightly,
go,
please?
sorry.
Thank you. You're picturing Bob Chapek as a baby, aren't you? A tiny Chapek. Al Rensha said, I really want to see either Darth Revan introduced or more shows focused on the Sith.
Baby.
We need to move a little away from the light side, in my opinion.
Well, that's what the Acolyte is.
Yeah.
The Acolytes delves into the Sith.
Which I'm excited to see because I mean the video games do a great job of this. Of the light side doesn't necessarily mean all of those Jedi have made good noble choices.
Right.
There's a lot of ambiguity in between these two sects, so I think it's gonna be very interesting.
Luis Enrique de la Pena said, I like both formats to watch series, but I'm a binger. I'm going to watch the first 3 episodes of Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, She-Hulk, and Cobra Kai Season 5 today.
That's a lot of watching, Louis.
That is a lot.
I'm
of
like
stuff.
trying to do the math of like,
Can you?
I love that optimism
Love
on
that
here.
can-do spirit.
He's going to do it like when you do a podcast at like 1.5 speed.
Let's go.
I hope you enjoy all that.
It's and different strokes because I
Yeah.
get so burnt out. Like I will start watching a series and then accidentally watch like 5. But the second I am like, I'm gonna binge this, I can't do it. IMHO Reviews said, as someone who hasn't seen nor cared to see a lot of Star Wars, that Andor trailer has me hype. This looks amazing.
I mean, that just goes to show you that that trailer did its job.
Well, and kind of what you were
Certainly
saying
did.
about superheroes, Rob, where it's like, this just looks like a great, tense kind of wartime spy drama that happens to be in space.
Yeah, and see, it gives you a sense of what it is. So you can go, okay, I know what I'm there for, so I can get excited about it if you like that kind of thing.
Jay Master said, I'm watching Disney Legends Awards ceremony.
Right now? Good for you, man. Splitting your time? Wow.
2 screens?
Dang.
Oh, cheating.
We're doing a show.
Cheating hard.
I hope it's fun.
Jai CSC said, Black Adam's marketing campaign hasn't landed for me. Maybe the second one trailer, but that's it. I hope the movie's good, but I am less excited to see it.
Yeah, Jay, I think that's kind of where some of us
Yeah.
are sitting too, of just
I'm still
know
optimistic,
more.
but yeah, it's not getting me quite as excited. But I will also take that over. You've shown me every joke and every plot point, and I'm not
Absolutely.
excited. There is a bit of, I can't quite visualize exactly where you're going with this, but it still has a lot of potential.
For sure.
Luis Enrique de la Pena said, did you see Netflix's The Good Nurse trailer with Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne? It looks really bad because they told the whole plot and maybe the ending in the trailer. Well, case in point.
I saw that trailer, and it's based on a true story about some, I guess, a nurse played by Eddie Redmayne who's been killing people at multiple hospitals
Yeah.
with insulin. And so it looks like it's based on a true story.
It is.
So it's still.
So I guess it's not really a spoiler. It's
Yeah,
just what happened.
You avoided some news. You didn't pick up that issue. I think it looks interesting, and Jessica Chastain, I think, is one of the greatest actresses we have right now.
You know, Jessica Chastain's a redhead.
she is.
Oh. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what sound that was.
You done?
He is done because you can tell how I brought up the super chat.
Thank you so much. Irene Jobson said, love y'all. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Irene.
Irene, we hope you and Brad have a great weekend too. I hope someone watches your kids so you guys can go do something.
Hell
Have
yeah.
fun.
Do it. The antagonistic anonymous said, I keep having this nightmare that tomorrow the cast of Hollywood's most fan-casted film ever, Fantastic Four, won't get its cast. I need this to end.
Soon the waiting and the horror will be over. All right, you'll have your cast. I believe in Feige. I think everyone's going to do a good job here. And the folks that they have been having like do these casts have been doing such a good job. Like I don't think anyone's been miscast so far. in
Marvel's
the MCU.
casting is absolutely one of their strongest
Oh, yeah.
points.
You know who they should cast as the Fantastic Four? They should just get everyone from Don't Worry, Darling, because they get along so
They get along
well.
so well.
And you need that chemistry to carry over
Well,
into the
and-
Fantastic Four.
Harry and Flo are already in the MCU.
Well,
So-
Harry can provide all the water effects for when.
Oh my god.
Somebody said to me they had a picture of the entire cast of Don't Worry, Darling and Olivia Wilde, and they said that they and their friends, this is their Halloween costumes for 2022. And I'm like,
perfect.
I want to be at the party when you all walk in together because that's genius.
I'll go as
brilliant.
Harry Styles and make my fiance go as Chris Pine, and I'll just spit on him
that's
periodically throughout the night.
I love it.
Bobby Jackson says it feels like WB wants to hide that Black Adam will turn good and team up with the Justice Society against the real villain, that red demon-looking guy.
'Cause
Someone
that's a
naming characters
shocker.
like I do. Thank you.
That's such a shocker. in
What a
terms of
twist.
What a Twist.
But an M. Night
Demon
Shyamalan
guy.
twist. Well, it could be a really good movie, Ray.
Yeah, it could be good.
I'm not gonna poo-poo it.
No, it's fine.
I want it to be good.
Yeah,
I don't care about it anymore.
Ray. No,
You hurt his feelings.
Ray, don't be like that.
Come
Think
on,
of
brother.
horse noises.
Okay.
Horse noses.
Cynthia said, for the men who are raging at how some of the male characters are portrayed in She-Hulk, I hope they also rage at how male characters treat female characters in a movie like, I don't know, The Accused.
That's a good point, Southius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well put.
Ooh.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, have you ever gone to a bar, like at
Yeah.
night, on a weekend?
Which, like, to be fair, there were some moments in She-Hulk of, I get it, where some people it felt a little redundant. But again, real life is so much worse than what they've shown us in this show of just, you go to Idle Hour on a Friday with a book. Oh my God. And I'm not speaking from personal experience here at all. I've just gone to go have a cocktail while I wait for a friend. And it is the most soul crushing experience.
Oh, I've actively been probably on a date you over many years
We were
ago.
on opposite ends of the bar before we knew each other
Yep.
going, well, Celsius.
Nathan Arredondo said, hey, crew, do you think we'll finally get our first look at the National Treasure and Percy Jackson TV shows at D23?
Ooh, I would think y'all
I
would.
think that's a good bet.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Probably. For sure. Probably.
At the very least, there's going to be
For sure,
AR.
probably.
Yeah.
For sure, but
50%,
probably.
100%.
For sure, but
60%,
70% of the time.
I'll take those odds.
Because I think they're going to do the National Treasure. I think that one more likely. But the Percy Jackson, or is it the opposite?
It depends. if
We're
they're-
like Ray over under 50%, and Ray says yes.
I'm 50%, 100%.
I forgot which show we had screenshots from.
I
That's
think
why.
National Treasure we had first, and then Percy Jackson. We've been now. Are they in production now?
See, that's why I
Because
said.
I know we've got our
For
cast.
sure, probably.
Yeah.
So, just connect the dots with the two shows. Sorry.
Okie doke. Fanblaze71 said, when do you think we'll see Shang-Chi again?
I mean, I see him every day because I follow him on Instagram. I'm sure we're going to see Shang pop up in a lot of stuff, though.
I still think we get him in an after credit from the Marvels. That's
I
just
agree.
my guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hope
You guys
so.
have any other theories?
No, yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. All right.
I'd watch that.
You know it's Friday. He's just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, sure.
The Inedible Hulk said, Rob's comments on needing story in regard to Black Adam seems at odds with his love of old Trek. New Trek has coherent stories. The nonsense TOS had.
Whatever. What? See, here's the thing. I don't have to defend classic Star Trek because history has already defended it for me. Yesterday, Star Trek celebrated Star Trek Day. It was the franchise is 56 years old. Everything else is derivative of the original series. The original series is Star Trek. Everything else is a derivation of that. And talking about stories, watch Balance of Terror, watch The Doomsday Machine, watch Amok Time, watch Journey to Babel.
Watch Trouble with Tribbles.
Watch Trouble with Tribbles.
Watch
These
The
are all
Man
great
Trap.
stories. It's not nonsense. And you know what? The writers of the original Star Trek were real science fiction writers that wrote novels and short stories, and they didn't rip off other writers without attribution.
Okay, Jonathan, can you open up
What is
Super Chat again
TOS?
so he can reply to that?
The original series.
So what?
The original series.
Oh, the original series. Gotcha.
Everyone's always trying to, so don't come at me
You
with
come
your
to his
Wow,
house?
you woke
Don't
up.
at me,
to
bro.
his house?
Don't at me.
Dang,
Man.
man.
Mr. Holdbrook said, I'm loving She-Hulk. It took me a while to figure out the magician on this week's episode was on Entourage.
Yes, we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. A reference that completely flew over my head, so I'm so
Yeah,
glad you guys were here.
someone said that yesterday, and I didn't realize it either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy said, hi from OC. Hi, strongly success.
You look at her with such disappointment. Are you her mom?
Amy
Are you
butted
watching
off
your
of
daughter
me.
right
Wow.
I'm
the
just a
spelling bee?
starfish, and I grew her.
Wow.
That explains so much. Andy said, hi from OC. I strongly suggest, Mom?
You're doing it. Amy's okay. Find your confidence. Say, I matter. Okay, now try it again, baby. Go. You got this.
I strongly suggest
I need
Danny
more of
K's
that.
Billiards and Sports Bar if John and Rob do a meet and greet Saturday night. Nice food, great bar for group settings. New plan.
We didn't really set that up though.
D23.
We didn't really say we were going to do that.
No,
So, I mean,
we could at any
We
time.
I don't have D23 tickets, but I can go to a bar.
let's all go.
I was gonna say, we're not going to work,
Yeah.
but we can go to bars. We're very capable.
Can and will, baby.
Pass by the entrance to Disney Studios on my commute out here every day, and all I see are these massive D23 posters on their sound stages, and I'm like, not going. But I'm going all the way out to the damn Inland Empire to talk about how I'm not going.
I feel that too.
I bit my tongue during my last sentence. I'm really falling apart today, y'all. Jer Maninen, so sorry if I'm butchering your name, said, wanted to send some love after birth of my 7th child.
Your 7th child.
Got a full 7th heaven going?
I didn't know Nick Cannon watched this show. Okay. What?
Congratulations.
Are you forming a soccer team? What? I mean, good for you guys. I say this as somebody who has
I want to say
no
Jer's in
babies.
Finland.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes more sense. You guys have great health care. Woo. Enjoy.
Congrats. Dylan Payton.
Congratulations, by the way. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's really great.
Dylan Payton said, happy Friday, y'all. The Criterion Collection announced its first collab with Pixar, Wall-E. So happy because it's still my favorite Pixar film to date.
Yep, coming out in 4K in
Yeah.
November.
Ooh, you gonna get that?
It's already pre-ordered.
That's not on 4K yet.
It is, but not from Criterion.
So far, that's my favorite Pixar movie as well.
You know,
That's a good one.
it's not. It's probably in the top 5. It's not my personal favorite, but I feel like that really makes sense as the first. Like, I feel like it just is. I know we can only be so objective with art, but it is. It just feels like a film,
And it's the closest-
capital F film in a
I think
really
it's the closest
specific way.
Pixar movie that fits into Criterion's.
Yes.
Their
I'd agree with that.
mission statement.
Yeah. Sure, that sounded good.
Oh, and does it make me
Rob,
cry?
find your confidence. Try it again.
Don't bite your tongue. Shoulders back. You
Oh,
got
Rob
this,
shot.
Rob's like, I found my confidence. What do you mean?
Look at you.
There we go.
Artemis said, Beyond, Amy was on fire yesterday. Oh, thank you. Hilarious. Great addition to the show. Thank you so
Agreed.
much.
She's wonderful.
Appreciate
Your
you.
daughter's
Thank
great.
you. My daughter's so good at this.
If
This
I
is
can,
only going to fuel the Chris's 50 rumors even more.
if I can get sentences out, I kill it. The spit heard around the world. Said, Barbarian is bonkers good. Rob, you said you read the script. Did much of it change from the final production? No spoiler. Also, congrats to Amy on the news. Also, Amy, did Harry spit or not? There's
Whoa.
so much to unpack here. First of all,
Layers.
thank you. No, he didn't spit.
What's the news?
She got engaged.
Oh, that news. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I thought there was something I missed yesterday.
No.
I'm assuming is to what that was referring. I don't think he spit. I don't think he spat. I didn't see it. I watched the clip. I didn't see it.
Looks like he's spitting.
Something's weird there.
There's something weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if he like meant to spit
I
on
wanna.
Chris Pine.
I wanna believe he did because it's hilarious.
You think he mistake Chris Pine for someone else that looked like Chris Pine?
That happens. There's a lot of Chris.
So hold on. I'm sorry. Your theory is that he knew he was taking the stage with Chris Pine, and he was like, I have a friend who looks like Chris Pine, and I want to spit on that
Who
dude.
just happens to be sitting next to the director of the movie.
Yeah.
Venice Film Festival.
He didn't know
In
that
Venice.
was a real Chris Pine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Get it?
Well,
Problem solved. Case
Maybe he was
closed.
just maybe it's just spitting and then it got on
Well,
Chris.
it's just
I
like
don't know.
you would see, in my opinion, you would see the spit on camera, and no one can identify any.
That's my thought.
Spit
And
at all.
And I'm sorry. The first thing I think about when I sneeze, if it was a sneeze, is not facing a person.
I try to find somebody with an open mouth and
Oh,
just shoot right
man.
in.
Like a
in.
toddler does.
Okay,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
So,
Run over next time, right?
by the way,
Shave.
to answer the question too, the from what I understand, yes, the Barbarian script was exactly like the finished film.
There you go.
Exactly.
Excited to see it.
And that was one of the interesting things when I was reading the script. I was curious, and apparently, it's exactly like it.
Nice.
Stubble McShave said, Rings of Power have so far been mostly character establishment and very little storytelling with those characters. It improved a bit in the latest episode. I kind of get that.
Yeah.
And like I said, it felt like we just kept bringing in more characters, and I was like, where'd some of these people even go?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just in the middle of the ocean. Ship comes along. Okay.
I'm
Crazy
glad that
things have happened.
Galadriel's starting to chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Her just one note of just angry all the time is getting annoying, but
Yeah, she's annoying
That's fair.
to me.
That's fair.
They should kill her off, actually.
Well, that poses, I can think of one problem.
no, see, they clone her. And
Oh.
Oh, the mystery.
I haven't read the books. I don't know that.
yeah, they have the midi-chlorians, and then they clone, and then wrong
That
franchise.
makes sense.
Go
They
ahead.
just are going to do an opening scroll next episode. So
Yeah.
tell us all that. That's great.
Camino.
Yeah.
John should never
the
leave.
wet cloners in the Westlands.
Mumra said, Cobra Kai Season 5 game day. Jonathan, wax on poetic.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm not prepared. What am I supposed to say?
Jonathan, they sent you a super
I like
chat.
Cobra Kai. It's fun. You know what I like about it? You can binge it in one day because they're just nice 30-minute episodes. And you know what? I have a story. I met Zapka years and years ago. I was a little kid, and we were in line for White Knights. It's a very old movie from the 80s.
White Knights, really? With Mikhail Baryshnikov?
Yep. We were in, and William Zabka was walking out of the theater, and I remember he was wearing a charcoal like color like trench coat and everything. It was a cold night, and we met him. And I couldn't say a word because I was a little kid, and I was like, I don't understand how you are in real life.
Were you in Century City? Did you see White Knights in Century City?
It could have been Century City.
The old ABC where the Death Star is now, the CA Death Star.
I can't remember if it was out in West LA or if it was like, I have an image of like North Hollywood, the theater off of like, I think it was like Burbank Boulevard or something like that. But it could have been there too because I was so young. If a car ride felt long no matter what.
Right.
But yeah.
Are you homegrown too, Jonathan? You're from like the LA area?
Yeah, I was born in Burbank.
Hey.
Are we the only ones who aren't unicorns?
Yeah, no, I'm from SEATTLE.
I know.
Give me a minute.
That's a little mix-a-lot for you.
And your
yes,
team
I
are
mean-
the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Seahawks.
Boom.
Monday
Oh my
night.
God, you're ready for the big league.
You know what? When you get married, you make sure that you take note of your partner and their history.
All right. Well, I'll take you to 19th and Yesler.
I don't know where in Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll go.
But I will say something. You know what?
Seattle.
Paparazzi on Broadway. We're gonna go up there. We're gonna see.
You just can't go to Scoochie's anymore, but
You can't go to Scoochie's anymore, but you can go
Oh,
to Dick's
well then
Drive-In.
I'm out.
Wow.
You can
Oh,
eat
we
a
can go
bag
to
of
Dick's
Dicks.
Drive. We can eat a bag of Dicks.
I almost
Yeah.
that burger restaurant is very good, and I'm going to be careful about the way I phrase that.
No, what restaurant? What do you
Dick's.
I love Dick's.
like? Yes. Got it.
Oh
Record.
no!
It's an old Seattle joke, but a good one.
Twitter.
Oh no.
Actually, you can
got
follow Dick's on Twitter.
Confirmed.
Oh, I do.
I am very aware.
here,
Sometimes they follow you.
this is the Beyond crew we've all been waiting for. It's finally
John can't
it's
leave.
finally here.
Man.
The best scene. And
But yes, you know what? Cobra Kai does nostalgia like no. So now we can move on.
is that
Okay,
why you, no, seriously,
Summer.
is that why you stick with it? Is the nostalgia is what brings you back
They
to
do
that
great
show?
nostalgia. I love it. Yeah,
Because
I mean,
that was-
there's definitely a level of like cheese factor there that I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, the Johnny and like their original story, that's great. I don't care about the kids as much.
Yeah,
but-
see, yeah, that's what I would care about too. But I'm not watching.
All right.
Victor Romero said the streamers need to get away from midnight releases and more HBO 6-9 p.m. drops.
Yes, please.
I'm right there
I'm a
with you.
sleepy little bitch. Yeah.
I don't know why that's not industry standard. 6 and 9.
I am so old in spirit. I cannot stay up past 9 p.m. I just want my stories and a cup of tea, and then I go to bed at 9:30.
And if we're doing the weekly release, and part of the point is that becomes like the water cooler buzz of everyone's talking about it the
Yeah,
next
then you
day.
gotta watch it the next day.
Exactly. It creates a more unified, like, why wouldn't you just watch it? You can just watch it before bed.
Well,
Like they think they're doing us a favor. Oh, right at midnight it's happening. Great. I'll watch it tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. At 6.
Instead, if you like venture to the internet at all, your show's spoiled for you.
Yeah.
Because no one has any.
And let's be honest, we all wake up and go on like Twitter or whatever first thing. So the amount of times it's been like, well, I was going to watch that in a couple minutes,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
Yeah. And these shows typically aren't the kind of thing you want to be like, well, DVR it and watch it when you wake up. Yeah, but I don't want to watch this in the morning when I wake up. I want to watch it in the evening.
Exactly.
There you go.
Gosh, get on our level, streamers. Come on.
And if you disagree, I don't care.
we all sleepy little bitches here.
Yeah.
Levetto said, seems like She-Hulk is trying to do that Taika James Gunn humor without them. For being the first sitcom in the MCU, the humor is quite off. Thoughts?
I don't think the humor's off. I think the timing is off or something
Yeah, I think
like
the
that.
editing's funky.
Yeah,
I
and
stand by
also
that.
it's not as funny as I think it should be. There's an
Yeah.
earnestness to it that I'm surprised by when I think it should be more, like you were saying, more bonkers.
Yeah.
More, I think it plays it almost too straight.
I do want it to be a little wackier.
I mean, the funny thing is, then they bring in a character like Madison, and you're like, what?
That's
That's the crazy stuff that happens, and then I want to see more. Even when She-Hulk's dating, they made it more earnest. Like
Yeah.
she meets this guy that she brings home, the doctor, and then when he sees her as Jennifer in the morning and bails, it becomes not funny, and you feel bad for her.
Yeah, it felt cold.
Like that guy's a dick.
Yeah, he is. Man.
Well, and to be fair, comedy really thrives in a place where there is like it's like an AMC theater. Heartbreak loves it there, right? You can really do comedy
Actually,
well.
his heartbreak feels better in a place like this.
In
I
the-
just don't want to. Let's
in
get it
the
straight.
sitcom.
Maybe that's
But
why it
so-
doesn't feel so good, because we're not in a theater.
Maybe, but you can really, really play off tragic, horrible things happening. You know, baby.
She knows.
You can play off of those things and do it in a really funny way. I mean, there's a reason why all comics tell the Pagliacci joke. You know, like no one does comedy because they were well adjusted and hugged enough as a kid.
No one hugged us the right amount.
Exactly. So I think it's a fine line.
Yeah, and then we have some love from some super chats. The Richard, Connie Sang, Fredo, Valcaz, and PJ Slapdragon Watson. Thank you so much, friends.
Oh, awesome, guys. Well, that is going to do it for this Friday installment of the Non-Campea Show. Trademark Amy Newman. All right. We appreciate you being with us here. Thanks so much. If you're going to D23, be safe, have fun. Rob, no shenanigans. I want to thank everyone in the room here who helped me out today. Rob, where can the people find you, aside from D23?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at BurnettRM, find me on Instagram at RM Burnett, or find me on my own YouTube channel, Post Geek Singularity, where yesterday I interviewed Star Trek Picard showrunner Terry Matalas and Academy Award winner Doug Drexler for Star Trek Day. Find out all the secrets of Star Trek Picard Season 3. I'm sure CBS is not happy with me, but hey.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
There you go.
Amy,
Post
we're-
Geek Singularity.
Oh, sorry, Rob. Amy, where can the people find you?
I'm on Instagram at amy.n.newman and Twitter at amy_n_Newman. And I have links to anything I'm doing in my bio there. And you can probably, as I said, find me just at a bar at some point.
Yeah.
Around LA.
Yeah.
You'll get lucky at one of these points. You'll find me. You'll find me.
We're in these streets. We're out there.
I'm in these streets.
We're around.
Hard rain's gonna
Can
fall.
I know specifically which
Absolutely, I'm in
street,
these
Chris?
streets.
No.
No?
I'm not sure which
Oh.
street. Look, I'm not a helicopter mom, Ray. I let her go where she needs to go. Okay, Ray, where can the people find you?
Eating everything except dicks.
Hey,
They're so
mean,
good,
With a
though.
0. I'm sorry.
He's talking about the restaurant.
The restaurant.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Just put a little of it in
Amy
your mouth
stated
and-
she,
Yeah.
but I just don't do it.
You just
I
got to
mean,
put a little in your
You're more
mouth,
of a
see how you
Five
like
Guys
it.
guy? You really just
You
like to
love-
go down on Five Guys?
You love having
Rob
Five
going.
Guys in your
Can you
mouth.
put it on Rob real quick?
Well, it is.
Okay.
It's on all of you.
Yeah.
I just want to make
We're
sure.
children.
Jonathan, where can the people find you?
Just trying to gather myself. And Sonic, if you want it, it's right there.
Listen, you encourage chaos when John's not here, and I'm trying to deliver, my man. Okay,
It's just part of. It's part of the bit. I'm
Yeah.
just,
that's fair. That's fair.
I'm playing this.
Okay.
Look, also, there's some. We're going to be here again later today, though, right?
We are. We are going to be back here for the Rings of Power after show. It's going to be me and Amy talking about it with you guys. We'll be catching up on episode 3. Jonathan will be with us as well. And so will Taylor. So yay. Ray, I don't know if you're sticking around.
You say
I'm sticking around always.
I said yay. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious, this is off the rails. I'm Chris Carr. You can find me at Actor Chris Carr on Twitter, The Hellscape, or on Instagram, which is only slightly better. Or you can follow my studio, Speak Friend Studio. I do voiceover lessons. I'm about to go do one right now in my office. So thanks for being here, you guys. We hope you had a great day. Have a fantastic weekend. And until next time, bye.